think Nick is coming on now. Yep, damn sure is. Damn sure enough is.
Good evening, everybody. You're watching America First. My name is Nicholas J. Fuentes. We have a great show for you tonight. Very excited to be back here with you tonight on Wednesday. We have a lot to talk about tonight.
Right
Lots
on the
to get
fucking
into.
money.
Big show.
Hell yeah.
It's actually a super
Oh,
slow
now Streamlabs
day.
Streamlabs comes on.
Very
What
slow
the fuck?
news day. Very slow week. But that's okay. We have a good show. Our featured story, we are talking all about this Pam Bondi hearing today in the Senate. What is that all about?
She's an idiot.
This is like the worst defense from a politician I have ever seen.
She's not much of a politician.
In my entire life. It's
She's
just like a
ditzy
joke.
blonde.
And maybe you've seen the clip already. It went viral on social media. Pam Bondi goes to a hearing in the Senate. She's interrogated about the Jeffrey Epstein files. Or pardon me, this is in the House. She is interrogated over the Jeffrey Epstein files, and they're asking her about the victims, and are you going to unredact the rest of the files, and are you going to investigate any of these people? And she's talking about the stock market. She's doing this like ham-handed Trump thing where she's trying to insult the people asking the questions, trying to do the most transparent and obvious and clumsy pivot I've ever seen in my life. They're saying, hey, release the files. She's like, you're a loser. You're a never Trumper. What about the stock market?
Yeah, he
Bitch.
put out that he was going to be on early.
And I know his MO. And you know that before she went into this hearing, they had a huddle and they knew this was coming. They knew they were going to be asked about the files. And I'm sure Trump told her, you know, you got to talk about the stock market. You got to flip the script. You got to frame it in a different way. Talk about all the other successes. Because that's the playbook. Am I wrong? That is every Truth Social post. That's every rally. That's every press pool. Whenever Trump gets in trouble, whenever he's asked to explain himself, you always get the 30-minute monologue about the most successful administration in history and the job numbers and the border and blah, blah. So you know that they were going into that, and that was the playbook. And she was going to play the Trump card. But you know what? It's not working anymore. It doesn't work in the face of this Jeffrey Epstein scandal. We'll talk about why that is, because I think it says something actually pretty salient.
Nobody wants to hear that shit.
It says something pretty profound about the entire MAGA movement. There's some sense of closure. We're sort of returning in the end to where we started in the beginning. It's kind of symbolic. And we'll talk about that. That'll be our featured story. Related to that, we're also going to talk about Howard Lutnick. We were going to cover this last night. As you know, Howard Lutnick is named many times in the Epstein files, in the files that were released 2 weeks ago. And one of the major revelations from the files, and there's not many, as we've been talking about, there isn't really a big smoking gun in the middle of the files. But one of the things that we have learned is that Howard Lutnick was a friend of Jeffrey Epstein. And more than that, he lied about his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. Howard Lutnick has maintained for over a decade that although he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein in the first half of the 2000s decade, after Jeffrey Epstein was charged and convicted for sex trafficking, he cut off contact with Epstein. And he has maintained that is his story, that's his alibi for over a decade. Well, we've now found out from the files that that's a lie. Not true. Howard
I
Lutnick
always knew
maintained a
that guy was a
friendship with Epstein
scumbag.
long after Epstein was charged,
He
convicted,
just seemed like a
served his
used
sentence.
car salesman.
And actually,
Just
Howard Lutnick brought his
disgusting.
entire family to the Epstein Island with his kids.
Ugh.
And this is in the emails. He lied. For those that don't know, Howard Lutnick is the Commerce Secretary. He is deeply involved in U.S. diplomacy in the Middle East, with China, with all these other countries. There's extraordinary pressure on him to step down, but the White House is standing by him. They're not going to fire him. And I said this on Twitter today. I said it last night. This Epstein scandal is an albatross. It is a mortal wound.
They're not going to be able
Trump
to
has
get
to
away
do
from
something about this. And I'm barely rooting for Trump anymore. Honestly, I'm over it. But if you're Trump, if you're the Republicans, and you want to make it to 2026, you want to make it to 2028, you want to salvage what's left of the second term, they have to confront this head on. And the only way to do that, they got to fire Howard Lutnick. They got to go after Les Wexner. They got to release the rest of the files. It's not going away.
No.
It's not going
And
anywhere.
they need to,
and I don't know what they're thinking. They tried to
salvage
cover it
what
up
they
last
can
year
by
in a
coming
number of
clean.
different ways. We've gone through that timeline. They tried the fake out with the binders, and then they tried to just make everybody forget about it, and then they lied about it. Then they put out the memo. They tried to bury it. They shut down Congress to prevent Congress from forcing their hand. They tried everything last year.
Really damaged their
And
credibility by
this
doing
issue
that.
almost single-handedly destroyed Trump's support among the younger
Dude,
demographic.
it really hurt them.
The 18 to 25s, the 25s to 29s. He is hemorrhaging support with them almost exclusively because of this. It is devouring everything.
Yeah, Goldie, he was just talking about
It is
Bondi.
eating up all the attention.
That was the first thing he brought up.
At the minimum, politically speaking, for Trump, it's a diversion from his agenda. I'm saying politically from his point of view. And they think that they are just going to ignore this. They think that they're just going to stick and move and that eventually people are going to forget about it, but they're not. Nobody is going to forget about this. Nobody is going to move on. It's not going away. It needs to be confronted. It needs to be dealt with. And I'm saying this politically for the sake of Trump, but, also for the sake of our country, too. There needs to be some reconciliation here. And if there isn't, it is just going to keep consuming everybody's attention and consuming the news cycle until the midterms. And then after the midterms, the Democrats will raise it again in 2027. And you don't want that, because then it is going to go straight into the 2028 election. The Democrats are going to raise this. They're going to use their subpoena power. They're going to use the committees. And they're going to blow this up in 27, and you will be dealing with it in the next presidential election if you don't nip it in the bud right now. So it's a very bad situation for Trump. I've had a lot of conversations with Alex Jones about this. Every time we talk about it, he says, so what do we do? Is this the end? How is Trump going to get back on the ball, get back ahead of the 8 ball, or whatever the expression is? And I keep telling him, I don't think it's going to happen. Trump is too stubborn. He's not really willing to do what is required here. And look, it's February 2026. We're in the middle of February. This is still a big deal. This started in July.
They have not been able to get it.
It is February, and there
People
is
have been
no sign
bitching
of this
about
stopping
it
anytime soon.
since he got into office.
It's still here.
Bro, where are the files?
So we'll talk about all that. Once again, we're getting back into the files. Before we get into the news, I want to remind you to smash the follow button on Rumble, smash the like button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the show. Check out our store, Fuentes.store. We got our hoodies, shirts, hats, quarter zips, buttons, pins. Oh, all kinds of great stuff.
Blue
It's all on the
suits.
store, Fuentes.store.
They say if you
Subscribe
have
to our
nothing
website
but
for
one
the
blue
America
suit,
First
you're
Plus
good.
membership. If you're a super fan of the show, you love the content, you want to support
need a
us, you
blue
want
suit.
more, you got to become a
You can wear
Plus
it
member. Don't just
anywhere.
be a regular subscriber. Be a Plus subscriber. The show is free, But if you want access to the entire archive of every show that I've ever done and every other piece of content, interview, debate, speech, commentary stream, it's all on the website, americafirst.plus for $15 a month. $100 a month, you get to be in a group chat with me. I was hanging out in there today, answering questions, chilling with the niggas, and one guy crashed out and left. Imagine that.
People do that.
We're in the $100 a month group chat. I pop in there, I'm hanging out, and there's this guy, and he's being super fucking annoying. And everybody's just giving him a hard time. And he goes, fine, I'll just leave the group chat. And he just left.
Like, bro, you paid $100 to leave.
Bro, you paid $100 to be there, and
what
you got
loser.
bullied out.
What a punk bitch.
Imagine
bro.
psyching yourself out that hard. You're paying to be there.
Dude.
Bro paid to be in the group chat.
Who does this?
Then got mad because of words on a screen. It's pixels on a screen. It's words on the internet.
Toughen up,
It's
Buttercup.
not real. You could turn your phone off. Crashed out and left.
Bro. Fucking gay.
I was like, get a load of this guy. Who does that? Anyway. But that's how it is. I mean, look. The group chat, it's a little intense. It's really me, and I'm really in there, and I'm really like that. And, you know, so it's like a real experience. This is not like Disney World where you get your Mickey Mouse hat and your Mickey Mouse ice cream. And it's the happiest place on earth. Sometimes it's the ugliest place on earth. Sometimes you don't want to be that guy in the group chat, you know? So and I think that makes it exciting.
Kind of.
I think that adds, and you know, that's what really you're paying for, is the authenticity. That's really what you're paying for. You're getting the whole experience. So that's just a little warning label. Caution, you're entering the no spin zone. I'm not even necessarily going to be nice, you know? There's no spin here. It's a no spin newsroom. Anyway, that's americafirst.plus. Check it out. What else? Oh, did you see this? Okay, now this actually pisses me off. So as you all know, Clavicular, my friend, goes to Arizona this past week and first of all gets mogged to death, frame mogged to death by some specimen from Arizona State. At Arizona State, that's just what average looks like, I guess. You go to Arizona State, every bop in the country is there. And I guess they're just growing them on trees like that. Everybody's looks maxed. Everybody's genetics maxed, you know. There's no peptide for that. There's no fucking peptide. There's no hormones. There's no bone smashing. They're just born like that. They're just born better. Okay? They got the genetics peptide. They got their dad is rich, so their mom is hot, and now they look like a god. They look like a Greek god, and that's just genetics. And that's life. You know, life is not fair. So Clavicular goes to Arizona State. He gets mogged to death by some random guy. But here's the part that irritates me. He gets arrested and thrown in jail. You see this? He caught 2 felonies and a misdemeanor because he was using a fake ID. He had drugs on him.
Bro.
And there was something else. I forget. But he got like pretty serious trouble. They threw him in jail. He was in jail for a couple days. He was facing like 8 years in prison. It's a big deal, kind of.
It's not smart.
And I was worried about him. I felt bad, but I also felt somewhat vindicated because I warned him. I said, look, like, you got to be careful. Got to be careful out there. You know, you're running people over with your car. You're pointing your gun at people. You're, you know, beating people up. Like, eventually, I don't know. I mean, these things happen. So I felt a little bit vindicated, but also I thought, this is terrible. So get a load of this. Today, we find out the judge has dropped all the charges.
Oh, shit. Oh, my boy lucked out.
He was on a live stream. He had drugs, and a fake ID on a live stream.
Right?
And you dropped the charges? Why?
Damn,
They
that
said,
shit,
well,
bro.
we didn't know that we could convict him. We didn't think we could convict him.
Good on
Couldn't
Clav.
convict him. He did it live.
Good on Clav. Fuck yeah,
he had
that's
Adderall and a fake ID in a bar as a 20-year-old, and he was live, and you couldn't convict him? And the charges just went away. The charges just went away.
Toodaloo.
They're just gone.
That's so dope. Good for Clav.
He called up, he lawyer maxed. He called up the best lawyer in New York.
Fucking A.
The lawyer picked up the phone. They dropped the charges. He's on his way home.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
And that's when you
realize
realize
good news.
Clavicular was right about everything.
Yes.
I was wrong. He was right. Because here I am. Look at me. Look at my jester life. Here I am talking about politics and like the Middle East and Jews and religion.
And he's just not
giving a fuck. And they ruined my life.
Yeah.
I got put on a no-fly list. I got my money taken. I'm banned from everything like an idiot.
Yeah.
This guy dedicated himself to just being handsome. He just dedicated his life to getting better looking, and now he has no problems. Gets better looking, instantly becomes famous. 1 second later, becomes super rich. 1 second later, literally above the law. It happened that quickly. It's like we hung out in July, and he wasn't that good looking. Then he got better looking in August.
That's well
immediately
said,
became the world's most famous streamer, then became rich about a day after that. Now, immune from laws. Above the law, can do whatever he wants, run people over with your car. Why not?
Fuck it.
Go into a bar at age 20, no one gives a shit. On drugs, caught with drugs by the cops, fake ID, it doesn't matter.
It's so dope.
So who's the idiot? Who's the idiot doing politics? Who's the dumbass with the big button? America first. I'm a goiper. America first. I'm a college Republican. We were wrong. What have we been doing? At a certain point, we just have to admit we have a problem. Hilarious. At a certain point, we have to admit that we were wrong. And maybe we just all need to get on drugs. Maybe we all just need to do drugs.
Bone smash.
Get better looking. If you're short, just kill yourself, I guess. You're either getting your height extension surgery or you should just kill yourself. Unless you like being a street sweeper. Unless you like cleaning toilets and being a subhuman. I don't know.
That may be your thing.
If you're over 6 feet tall, it's available to you. If you're white... or one of the, better brown races, like if you're Indian, not going to make it.
Yeah, piss off.
If you're one of these like deep black, not going to make it. If you're too Asian looking, not going to make it. But if you're maybe, I don't know, if you're sort of like white, off-white, over 6 feet tall, it is available to you. We have technology. You could just become as good looking as possible, and all of this can be yours. All of this can be no problems. You can walk right into Congress. You can walk right into the White House. As a matter of fact, you don't even need to, because it's just like you're rich, you're famous, women throw themselves at you.
Yeah, they do.
You get thrown in jail. It's like in SpongeBob when they stole the balloon on Free Balloon Day. That's clavicular. All right, you're thrown in jail. Okay, you're free to go. Crazy.
Released on own recognizance.
Look at me. I had to pay $250,000. I didn't even get charged with anything to get rid of my legal problems.
Jesus.
I get charged for battery because someone came to my house trying to fuck with me. I'm in this never-ending legal battle.
Man, that's fucking bullshit. That's fucked up, man.
He's right. Chad does what Chad wants. The laws don't even apply. Chad does what Chad wants. Peter Thiel is giving him millions of dollars. He's going to the Peter Thiel. That's a joke. Obviously, that's not true. Peter Thiel's giving him billions of dollars, freed from prison. What are we doing? And what the fuck are we doing? Going to our jobs, going to our live stream show about politics. Hey guys, let's talk about politics tonight and get no bitches. Hey, fucking losers and nerds, let's all talk about politics and get no bitches and be broke. And drive the speed limit. Like a fucking loser. Fucking nerd. Boiling with hatred and anger. I feel like Egg White. What's his name? Eggy? I feel like Eggy. Anyway. So that's that. I also have to say, here's one other thing about the whole clavicular. So I'm just joking, obviously, a little bit. There's some truth to that. Honestly, I've been saying this. We need to ascend. We need to become the elite. You need to books max. You need to looks max. That's my contribution. Looks max and books max. You got to improve the looks. You got to hit the books. If you're under 6 feet tall, commit suicide immediately. That's just how I feel, okay? That's my struggle. I'm working on being okay with it. I just feel like it's over for me because, you know, here's the thing that Braden doesn't understand. He was already 6 feet tall. For us little niggas out here, it's been over for a minute. You know, it's been over for a minute. Let's be honest. We have to move to a country where the average height is just lower. Anyway, and even then, you're dealing with passport bros and whatever. I've been saying it, though. You need to looks max, books max, money max. You got to level up. That's the answer. Level up. Get in touch with reality, okay? And level up. If you're looking in the mirror and you look like a fucking chud, you got to get it together, okay? No fatties, no uglies. Get a fucking haircut. Get clothes that fit. I used to say this all the time, and I stopped saying it for a little while. Now we need like a little reminder. All my political chuds, it's time to face reality. Do you own a mirror? Get in front of a mirror and figure it out. Lose some weight. Get a haircut. I don't encourage the use of peptides, but in extraordinary circumstances, it might be necessary. Now, the other thing I wanted to say about this clavicular situation, somebody needs to kill all millennials like immediately. Does anyone else feel like this? Because this clavicular thing, like, it's actually very good content. It's actually very funny. And it's like good stuff. It's very Kino. And then I see the millennials. Have you seen this on Twitter?
They're pussies. Like
everything else, now millennials have taken it and they are so amused with themselves. Every millennial faggot, fucking idiot, and stupid bitch is on Twitter saying, I'm coffee maxing, I'm hat maxing, I'm water maxing,
I'm loser
I got
maxing.
waterlogged by my mug maxed.
Ugh.
And it's like, who invited these fucking people?
That's whack.
You know?
I don't
It
even
reminds
try.
me of, do you
It's not
remember
my
a few
era.
years ago when every millennial was saying like, no cap, for real, for real.
Cap,
They would
yeah.
post like the broccoli head zoomer and they would say, no cap, that's busted, for real, for real.
Bussin'.
Remember on Saturday Night Live when Elon Musk did that sketch where they're at the hospital and they just kept saying, for real, for real?
Huh.
I'm getting like deja vu from that kind of thing. Like they just can't handle it. Every tweet that I see on X, it's all like older millennials and Gen Xers that just cannot handle this.
Wanna be cool
And every
again.
tweet is like, I X maxed, I X mogged, blah, blah. It's just gratuitous. And it's all these like old faggots that are like tech bros. It's all like, who is the guy on my Telegram channel that did it? I posted this on Telegram.
Bro, I don't even work out. I'm fucking diesel, dude.
I'll actually read
Never
it
have
to you. It
worked
was
out.
this guy, of course, it was Autism Capital. So disgusting. Autism Capital, who's like an older millennial retard. He says, popular internet streamer Clavicular's 2 felonies and misdemeanor were dropped. He lawyer mogged the judicial system.
Oh my
Proof
God.
when you're attractive enough, you can freedom max. Like they literally
Oh
just
my
can't, they
God.
can't handle it. And they go to their
Freedom
wine
Max.
parties. Millennials are playing Settlers of Catan with their girlfriends, drinking wine, and they're giggling about this shit. And someone there, some girl at that Settlers of Catan board game party is saying, I can't believe that I understood every word you just said. I need to touch grass.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Cringe.
If you don't know already what I'm talking about, I'm sorry for sharing. But there's this streamer named Clavicular. Do you know what I'm talking about? Does this sound crazy to you, or do you know what I'm talking about? Like, I saw this podcast from The Atlantic. I forget the guy's name. But there was a podcast from The Atlantic, and there's like this older millennial doing a podcast in his attic, and he's like, for those that haven't heard about Clavicular, maybe that's a good thing. I'm sorry I'm about to tell you who he is. For those of you that are chronically online, you probably know who he is. As if you're not doom scrolling, as if you're not a fucking loser that's doom scrolling like the rest of us. I just, like, these people need to go into the gas chambers. I shouldn't say that, but like, seriously. The women too. I think it was Brett Cooper who said that. Brett Cooper quote tweeted, I'll pull it up for you because you need to hear this. And you need to hear this. She said something like, I can't believe I understand every word of this tweet. Oh my gosh. And like I said, we are on our we like Brett Cooper stuff right now. Yeah. So one stupid bitch said, Pam Bondi is jester maxing and currently being frame mogged by the House Judiciary Committee.
Wow.
She's experiencing visible cortisol spikes as she gets fact mogged while perjury maxing. It goes on. She goes back in for more. Zero composure gains, getting reclamation mogged every 45 seconds for filibuster maxing.
Dude.
That's intelligent pog. Women ruin everything. Women ruin everything.
Truly.
A guy does something really funny. Other guys take notice and say, that's pretty funny. Then the dumbest fucking bitch you've ever heard comes on the internet. She thinks she's so quirky. She thinks she's being so nonchalant, and then she just beats the joke to death. Then she goes in and she fucking beats it to death.
It sucks.
Gratuitously.
Women do that.
And she comes back for seconds and thirds.
Stop. They really just aren't
maxing,
funny. Frame
mog, cortisol, fact mog, perjury. Shut up. Then she tags in Brett Cooper. It's a 2-man. Brett Cooper quote tweets, crying emoji. I hate that I can comprehend all of this. I need to touch grass. Emily, stop. Emily, stop. We can't take you anywhere. Emily, oh my gosh, you're so chronically online. Emily. Dude, like, I don't want to be here anymore. I just don't even want to be here anymore. So I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but it needs to stop. Like, someone needs to put a stop to this. Everything that is good and funny on the internet, like, this is what happens to it. You get like, it's literally, these are the worst people in the world. I like Brett Cooper again, you know, but like, she can't help it that she's like a white woman on the internet. She can't help that. We can't blame her. It's in her nature. Like, so we can be frustrated with it. We can't really blame her for it. But I read stuff like that and I'm just like, wow, you know, wow. So that's really happening. I hate that I can comprehend all of this. I need to touch grass. I'm so quirky. Oh my God. Emily's crazy. Look, she's wearing her hat upside down. She's crazy. Emily. Okay, anyway, so that's that. It's these, like I said, it's millennials. It's women on the timeline. They're out of control and they're ruining Clavicular for me. They're ruining it for me. Anything that is actually, because that actually is good new content in a really like a content drought. Like we are in content hell, and we have been for a while now. Have you guys noticed this? We've been in like complete content hell. There's like no content. Nothing ever happens. The content blows. Clavicular was like one good, interesting thing happening. And of course, the women got to rush in and fucking ruin it.
And ruin it. Beat it to death, of course.
You know.
How they do.
Anyway, I see that kind of stuff and I have to go off. So we're going to move on, though. We're going to get into the news. Life is so unfair. We're going to get into our featured story here, which is about Pam Bondi. What a fucking train wreck this was. Have you seen this clip?
Not very smart.
So our featured story is about this hearing which was held
one or the other
in the House Judiciary Committee. Trump administration continues to come under fire for their handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files, and specifically, people are demanding, one, that we get all the files, and two, that we actually see some accountability. And I believe we discussed this on Monday. In the files that have actually been released, we have found that the Department of Justice has identified 6 people that are likely incriminated in connection with Jeffrey Epstein, which is kind of a shock. Because again, last year they said the case is closed. We're not pursuing anybody. There's no persons of interest. There's no investigation ongoing. And inside the files that they released, they say that there are no fewer than 6 people that are likely incriminated, meaning they could be indicted
City.
If David the DOJ Bowie. Pursued them. Now, the names have been redacted. 2 of them have been unmasked by Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie, as a representative, has the privilege of seeing the unredacted files. He knows all 6 names. He's asking the DOJ to unredact those names, but he has offered 2 of them, and they are Les Wexner,
Biggity
the
bam.
Billionaire Jewish benefactor of Jeffrey Epstein, and an Emirati.
And you know what? Props to Nick. Props to Nick, because he actually pointed this out a while ago, or he was talking about Les Wexner. Dude.
Billionaire.
Wow.
Named, I think, Suleiman something. I don't have the name memorized off the top of my head, but some Emirati businessman from the Gulf. That's 2 out of the 4 that have been named. And in any case, there's tons of pressure on the Trump administration. We want to know those names. We want all of the unredacted files, and we want the 3 million other files that the DOJ didn't even put out in any form. Well, Pam Bondi had to face the House Judiciary Committee today, and she was pressed about this. And this had to be the most extraordinary performance I have ever seen. Think about where we are here. You are in the middle of arguably one of the biggest scandals that has hit the government since like Dennis Hastert 20 years ago. This is one of the biggest political scandals, maybe since Monica Lewinsky. Since Watergate. This is a really big deal. We're talking about a sex trafficker grooming underage girls, potentially for blackmail, in order to compromise, and this is documented, members of the British royal family, other
Prince
foreign
Andrew,
governments,
he's
involved with
fixing to have
Israeli
his last title
intelligence,
stripped away.
involved with some of the most elite billionaires, elite members of the public and private sectors in American life. Trump is the president. He is connected to this. Many members of his cabinet are directly or indirectly connected to this. Think of where you are. Pam Bondi is the Attorney General of the United States. She has been forced to uncover up what she tried to cover up last year. And now she's hauled before the Judiciary Committee of Congress. She has to know she's going to be questioned about this. She has to know there are going to be questions about these 3 million Epstein files, which were just released, and about those that are likely incriminated, and about the victims, and the nature of this. And she's pressed about all of it. And you know what her response was? She gets in front of the committee and she basically says, hey, why are we even talking about this? That's the playbook. She gets in front of the committee. You have Epstein's victims in the background. You got Democrats and Republicans pressing her. Hey, what's up with the rest of the files? When are you going to unredact the files? What are you going to say to the victims? Are you actually going to pursue the people that are incriminated in the files? And the playbook that is premeditated that she's running, she comes in and says, well, you know, this is all really just a big distraction. She goes, we should talk about something else like the stock market. The stock market? That was literally her response. She goes, well, what about the Dow Jones? And what about the NASDAQ? Why is no one talking about this? Well, let's see. For starters, you're the Attorney General. So I don't know why you would be talking about the stock market when you run the Department of Justice, not the Department of the Treasury, not the National Economic Council, not the Commerce Department. You're the head of the Justice Department. So I don't know. Why don't we start there? She goes, why aren't we talking about the stock market? Well, for openers, you're the Attorney General.
That has nothing to do with
number
this.
two,
Yeah.
you're sitting before the House Judiciary Committee.
What a dunce.
So why would you think that would be appropriate? You think that the Judiciary Committee is holding a hearing with the Attorney General to talk about the economy? Why would that even make sense? That would be like bringing the head of the Defense Department or the War Department in front of the Intelligence Committee or Foreign Relations Committee and saying, hey, why aren't we talking about the Super Bowl? Why aren't we talking about education? I don't know. It's the Judiciary Committee and you're the Attorney General. This is a story from the Wall Street Journal about this disaster. It says, quote, Attorney General Pam Bondi defended the Justice Department's release of files from the Jeffrey Epstein investigation during a fiery congressional hearing in which she traded barbs with Democrats, praised President Trump, and declined to apologize to a group of the convicted sex offender's victims seated behind her. Her appearance on Wednesday before the House Judiciary Committee got off to a tense start when Democrats blasted the department's redactions of material in the released Epstein files, which revealed photos and intimate details about numerous victims while keeping some prominent names secret. Representative Pramila Jayapal, a Democrat, said, your department has shown a pattern of redacting the names of powerful predators. He asked the victims seated behind Bondi to raise their hands if they had been unable to meet with the Justice Department to discuss their concerns. All 11 people raised their hands. He said, will you turn to them now and apologize for what the DOJ has put them through? Bondi said, I am not going to get in the gutter for this woman. Get in the gutter.
She's in over her head.
The dramatic exchange set the tone for the rest of the hearing, with Bondi and her Democratic questionnaires frequently interrupting each other with shouts and recriminations. She accused lawmakers of trying to engage in theatrics and directed pointed criticism at those challenging the Trump administration's actions, including its immigration crackdown and investigations into a pair of deadly shootings by federal agents. She said, you sit here and attack the president, and I am not going to have it. I am not going to put up with it. The Dow is over 50,000 right now, the S&P at almost 7,000, and the NASDAQ smashing records. That's what we should be talking about. She said, this isn't a circus, it's a hearing. The Dow, the NASDAQ? What is wrong with you? Are you retarded? You're the Attorney General. This is a hearing for the Judiciary Committee. You run the Justice Department. You are in the middle of a giant scandal with the Justice Department. You just released 3 million documents about a huge criminal investigation. And you're saying, why aren't we talking about the NASDAQ? I don't know. Why would we be talking about the NASDAQ here? Why would the Attorney General of the Justice Department at the Judiciary Committee in the middle of this scandal be talking about the stock market?
Yeah, Barbie.
You fucking idiot. I mean, does that even make any sense? One of the bill's primary sponsors, Representative Thomas Massie, questioned Bondi during Wednesday's hearing over what he described as multiple failures, including the inadvertent release of victim details and the redaction of famous names. He said, quote, "Literally the worst thing you could do to the survivors, you did," Massie told her. Bondi, in turn, blamed the Biden administration for its handling of the files. She said this cover-up spans decades and you are responsible for this portion of it. Or rather, that's what Thomas Massie said. Bondi was dismissive. She said, "This guy has Trump derangement syndrome. You're a failed politician." Representative Jamie Raskin said, "We saw your performance in the Senate and we're not going to accept that. This isn't a game." She hit back, "You don't tell me anything, you washed-up loser lawyer." Most Republicans rallied to Bondi's defense, saying she was working to correct a Justice Department that her Democratic predecessors had wielded as a weapon against Trump and his supporters. Representative Brandon Gill said, "Thank you for returning the DOJ back to its core focus, which is on the rule of law." Now, here is what likely happened. So first of all, let's just say this. This is a catastrophe. This is a total disaster. I don't know what they think they're doing here. I don't know if they think this is working or what they think they're getting away with. This is not working. They're not getting away with anything. And they haven't been for an entire year.
Nothing.
I don't know what Trump is thinking. I don't know who is telling him that this is working, but it isn't. This Epstein scandal has been going on and on, basically for a year now. I believe it was in February of last year when they gave out the binders to DC Drano and Mike Cernovich and Scott Pressler. This has been going on since then. And then Pam Bondi said the files were on her desk. And then Trump lied and said that he didn't have 1,000 FBI agents look for his name in the files. And then they put out that memo saying case closed. Then they shut down Congress early to prevent them from forcing the DOJ to release the files. This has been going on and on for a year, and it's getting worse. This is getting worse all the time. It started out very small last February. They tried that binder distraction, and people were suspicious and people didn't like it, but it was relatively contained. Now, this is like destroying the GOP. Look at the favorables. Look at the numbers. It is a disaster. It is especially a disaster for the younger people. It is killing Trump's favorability. It's killing his job approval. Nobody is happy with this. And you see this performance today. This track is just not working, and it never has. This has been their playbook basically since July, where the public are demanding answers, which, by the way, they have a right to. Okay, Jeffrey Epstein was a very sick criminal connected to a lot of powerful people. The DOJ is lying about what they have. This is a problem of their own creation. It was the DOJ that said there are no files, there are no other persons of interest. Well, both of those things are now provably lies, demonstrably lies. We have 6 million files, or rather they have acknowledged the existence of 6 million files. We have 3 million, and we have at the minimum 6 people likely incriminated by the files, 4 of which have not been named. So this is a problem of their own creation. They lied about it. The public is reasonable for demanding transparency and disclosure. And the Trump administration's response, by the way, also to something that they promised. So Trump promised transparency. People are reasonable in demanding it. The DOJ lied and then debunked their own lie. And the Trump admin's response to the pressure is to say, well, this is just fake. This is all fake, and this all just needs to go away. This is all a Democrat hoax, and this is the Biden administration, and this is just a ploy, and we really just need to focus on the economy. And like I said, let's just say in the first place, this is not working. No one is buying this. This is not effective. This is not smart. This is a catastrophic failure. It's not even close, like it's a disaster. Now, why are they doing this? Let me tell you what is happening in the White House. Trump is delusional,
Oh,
okay? You need to know this. Trump is sick. He is a delusional person. I don't know if it's his age. I don't know if it's his personality. I don't know if it's because he's been in this reality distortion field for so long. But I know firsthand from people that talk to the president, from people that know the president, this guy is delusional. You pick up the phone and talk to the president. You go to a meeting and talk to the president. And I know people that have done this, and it's hours of self-congratulations, hours of, this is my most successful administration. We've done more than anybody. The East Wing is going great. We've got the best numbers. It's all the... So this is like the Mad King. This guy is sick. He believes his own press. He is in his own world. Out here, in reality, everybody knows this is a disaster. Everybody knows immigration's a disaster. The economy's a disaster. The foreign policy's a disaster. It's a giant disappointment. This Epstein thing is a catastrophe. He doesn't know that. Now, because of that, and because of his cult-like control over the administration, he is advising his people to run this playbook. So I'm sure that Pam Bondi is huddling with the president, huddling with the White House before this hearing, and they know the questions are coming. And I'm sure that Trump is telling his people that this is how they got to play it. I'm sure he's telling them, if you get attacked, if you get questions, you got to talk about our record. You got to go back to how good we're doing. This is Trump and this is Susie Wiles. This is coming from the White House. This is their directive. This is their guidance.
They don't realize how bad they look.
And I'm sure little Pam Bondi, this dumb little idiot, is going to the House with her marching orders from Trump and Susie Wiles, and she's going, I'm hitting that playbook. They asked me about the giant cover-up of the sex trafficking island. I'm going to talk about the Dow. They asked me about the victims of grooming and sexual trafficking. I'm going to talk about the NASDAQ and the border.
It's not a good redirect at all.
And here's the thing. For those that are defending this administration still somehow, at what point is there any accountability here? You know, because I know there are a lot of people still defending Trump and they still think it's five-dimensional chess and he's winning and, you know, everybody's like an armchair tactician and they're talking about how Minnesota's not really a retreat and this Epstein thing is going really well and all the rest of it. They say about Trump that he hired all the wrong people. Well, you know, Pam Bondi's the problem. Well, he's getting bad advice. Okay, who hired the people? You know, they say, well, Kristi Noem, well, she's just an idiot. Trump needs a better person. Pam Bondi, she's just an idiot. Trump needs better. He's just getting bad advice. Okay, but this has been going on for 10 years. I lived through the whole first administration, and it was the same story. It's bad personnel. He's got bad advisors. He's getting bad advice.
Excuses.
Okay, well, you know, he's a grown man, and he's the president, and he's 100 years old. So, who hired these people? He did. He handpicked them. He hand-selected them.
That's his judgment on display.
Who's taking the advice? He is. Like, there's no excuse. And then they want to blame it on the Biden administration. They say, well, this is Biden's DOJ. It's a Democrat op. Sure. This is left over from Biden. Okay, so why the fuck did we elect you then? We're a year in. We are a year into our golden age.
Right.
We're 25% through with the second term. And you don't have it figured out by now? They're still blaming it on the Democrats? Isn't that kind of what they do with everything? Why is there no peace in Ukraine? Well, the Democrats left us a mess. Why is the economy still bad? Well, the Democrats left us a mess. Well, why are the Epstein files still covered up? Well, the Democrats ruined the DOJ.
What are they even good for?
Okay, so why elect Republicans then?
Yeah.
If Democrats get in, everything's their fault. If Republicans get in, everything's the Democrats' fault.
Yeah, then we'll stick with the guy who actually
If
takes
Trump gets elected, well, it's not really his fault. It's only the people that he hired that are at fault. I've been saying it for a long time. The problem is him. This is a difficult pill for people to swallow, and I get it, and I understand, and I know. The problem is him. He is fundamentally not up to the job. He is out to lunch. He has never been good at governing, not in the first term, not in the second term. He does not have it together.
I got to agree with him there.
His people suck. The advice sucks. His instincts are terrible. And I'm sure he told Pam Bondi, you got to go out there in the House and you just got to go on the record. You got to go and play up our record, and you got to dodge all this stuff about Epstein. Now, here's the problem for Trump. This Epstein scandal is not going anywhere. This is a huge problem. Everybody knows about it. We don't have censorship anymore, so people that are talking about it are not going to be banned. They're not going to be silenced or deboosted. And this is going to go straight into the midterms. What do you think the Democrat playbook is going to be in 2026?
Oh, they're going to get hammered.
The Democrats have a major cash disadvantage going in, but the polls are favorable. Historically, it favors the opposing party. And they're going to run this Epstein thing. They're going to run it from now until the midterm elections. And you know what's going to happen? The Democrats are going to take the House.
Yep.
And what happens in 2027 when Democrats have a majority in the House? They get committees. They get subpoena power. And what do you think they're going to do throughout 2027?
They know how to wield that power, too.
It'll
be like they're actually
before the
in
House
power.
Committee, the House Select Committee on Jeff Epstein, the House Select Committee on all these things, and they're going to drudge up all this stuff in 2027. They're going to compel testimony. They're going to compel the release of more documents. And they're going to put it in the media by talking about it and doing it, impeaching, indicting. They're going to put it in the media. And they're going to do it throughout 2027 into 2028. And then it's going to be a story in the 2028 election. Okay? This isn't going anywhere because the Democrats are going to be pushing it. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. And here's the thing about all this. You know, in a certain sense, obviously, the Democrats are exploiting it for their advantage. Let's not be naive here.
Yeah, it's
okay.
cynic.
Democrats are implicated in the files just as much as Republicans. They just are. Bill Clinton was on Lolita Express. Howard Lutnick is inviting Epstein to a Hillary Clinton fundraiser. Epstein is using similar coded language, just like the Podestas were in the WikiLeaks emails with Pizzagate. So let's not pretend like anybody's innocent here. It's Republicans and Democrats. And it is true that the Biden administration had 4 years to release the files, and they didn't. So the Democrats are exploiting it. Here is the issue for Republicans. They ran on releasing the files.
They did.
And more than that, they ran on draining the swamp. Isn't that the whole conceit of Trumpism? Isn't that the whole point? Trump ran in 2016 saying, we are going to drain the swamp. We are the voice for the forgotten men and women of America. I am not a politician. I am an outsider. And we're going to deliver a real victory. And we are going to get rid of the corruption. And we're going to make America great again. I mean, literally, that was the conceit of the first Trump administration. And I told you at the very beginning, there's something sort of richly ironic about this hearing. Because when I see Pam Bondi and she's fielding these questions and she's doing this Trumpian pivot and she says, you're a loser lawyer. You have Trump derangement syndrome. You're a failed politician. What about our record? She's channeling Trump. That's classic Trump. You're a loser lawyer. She's channeling Trump. But in a way, it's a sick farce. It's like a warped and twisted and ironic farce because When Trump invented that playbook in 2016, when he would call them Little Marco and Lion Ted and all that kind of stuff, Crooked Hillary, when he would pivot and he would do these kinds of things, it was attractive and it was appealing and it felt righteous because he was sitting on our side. He was the voice of the people. And he was directing it against a corrupt establishment. He was fielding questions from the corrupt establishment, which was connected to Epstein, which was connected to the Podestas, which was connected to all this evil stuff. All the lies about the wars in the Middle East, all the lies about the elites, all the lies about the weird sexual stuff at Comet Ping Pong and the weird art and all of that. And Trump was fighting them on our behalf. So when he was diminutive, when he was calling them Little Marco and Lion Ted and Crooked Hillary and doing that playbook, he was the champion of the people. Now, here we are 10 years later, and it's reversed. And like I said, it's like a sick parody. It's like a bizarro parody of Trumpism, where now Trump's people represent a new establishment. It's like Animal Farm.
Huh.
And now the well new put. Guard is indistinguishable from the old regime.
Yeah.
The Trumpists, Mar-a-Lago, MAGA, is indistinguishable from the Clinton machine, from the global special interests. I mean, think about this. In 2016, Trump was railing against special interests, the big banks, the international institutions, foreign governments, foreign spies. And he was even talking about how Bill Clinton was a sexual predator. Now it's a mirror image. And it's Thomas Massie and the Democrats interrogating Trump's attorney general. And they're in the position of protecting the privileged. They are protecting the pedophiles. They are protecting the elites, the sex traffickers. You have the Democrats and Thomas Massie interrogating the Trump administration about how they are not being transparent. They're covering up for Epstein. They're covering up for the bankers. They're covering up for Ronald Lauder. They're covering up for Les Wexner. They're covering up for the Emirates, for Israel, for Ehud Barak. They're trying to save face for the global special interests, for the corrupt, for these degenerates that run the society. And Pam Bondi is doing it in this Trumpian way, and it's like a house of mirrors. Mm. It's like an evil, wicked farce. She's doing the, oh, okay, little Marco in defense of Epstein. Okay, lying lawyer. Oh, that's Trump derangement syndrome. You're a failed politician. In defense of Jeffrey Epstein and Les Wexner and World Jewry. Literally the sickest shit imaginable. And like I said on Friday, who are they really protecting? And this is important. People say they're pedo protectors. It is true that the people they're protecting are engaged in sexual assault, and increasingly it looks like they are protecting something more sinister. When you look at the coded language and the rest of it, at the minimum, it's sexual perversion, trafficking, prostitution, at the minimum, what can be proved beyond a shadow of a doubt. What they're really protecting, however, is world Jewry. As we talked about on Friday, every single thing about Epstein is Jewish.
And it makes them look
Leon
bad.
Black and Les Wexner, his two benefactors, Jewish.
Yep.
Howard Lutnick, Benjamin Black.
Even Bill Maher came out and admitted
Kevin
he was
Warsh,
wrong.
all of these Trump admin nominees and personnel, they're all Jewish and connected to Epstein. When you see Pam Bondi going out there as the gladiator in defense of this, talking about the stock market, it is in defense of global Jewry, which controls this administration.
They're the puppeteers.
And there's something really twisted about this, which is there is another lens to look at the Trump administration. A lot of people see the Trump administration as a disappointment or a failure. They look at it as a mixed bag. Well, we're getting some things, but we're disappointed with other things. We're rooting for Trump, but some things we can't get over. It's very important to have the right mental model about what is really happening. We have to categorize things and periodicize things correctly. It's very important how we conceptualize things. And I think people are conceptualizing the Trump administration all wrong. I think about the plan trusters, people that really support the president, voted for the president, and in their mind, you know, they like Trump, they agree with Trump, Trump represents the party they support, and they're looking at it like it's a race or like it's a game. And they're in the stands and they're cheering. They got their foam finger, they got their hat, and they need to keep the morale up. They got to rally and they got to clap and do the wave so that their guy on the field gets a boost and he can win the race. He can win the game. And they're looking at it like it's this back and forth. There's innings, there's quarters. You know, sometimes Trump is in the lead and he's really performing well. And sometimes he falls behind. He's not doing so well. And we got to show up for the team, win, lose, or draw, rain or shine. That's kind of how they look at it. They're looking at it like a horse race, like a baseball game. And when they see this stuff with Epstein, they say to themselves, like a fan does in the stands, they say, come on, Trump, what are you doing? You know, keep your eye on the ball. They're saying, come on, ump, that's a terrible call. You know, what are you doing? This is how they're looking at it. This is the wrong mental model. It's the wrong way to look at it. There's another lens how you can look at the Trump administration. I don't think it's like that at all. I don't think it's a horse race. I don't think it's a baseball game. I don't think he's our team. He's not our team representing us. Trump is a man, and he's representing himself.
Yep.
And 2 years ago, he had a lot of problems. He was a man with a lot of problems.
Yeah, he was
facing 100 years in prison.
Yeah.
And that was a problem that could only be solved by becoming the president.
Yep.
Right? You're Trump. You're one of the most hated men in the world. You're going bankrupt. You're facing 100 years in prison. And you don't just have yourself to worry about, but your whole family. Maybe you can afford to go to prison, although you don't want to. But who's going to take care of the Trump organization? And what are those people going to do when they're out of a job? So Trump has to run for office and he's got to win. Well, how does he do that? Who's going to help him win the presidency? Well, it's pretty clear that after October 7th, the Jews decided that a Republican had to win, and they didn't want it to be Trump. First, they wanted it to be DeSantis. Then they wanted it to be Haley. And Trump, as a self-advocate, fought them and got the nomination. So they got stuck with Trump, but they needed him to win. And they needed him to win, maybe to do these jobs. They needed Trump to win. Why? So they could turn Gaza into a smart city, into a blockchain smart city.
All those people.
They needed Trump so they could take the West Bank. Yep. They needed Trump so they could expand the Abraham Accords in Syria and Lebanon. They needed Trump so they could get their war with Iran.
So they could oppress the shit
They needed Trump maybe
out
to
of the
bury
Middle
the Epstein
East.
files.
Fucking scum.
And one way to look at Trump is that he is like a Trojan horse. You were the sucker, actually, in this deal. It's not like Trump needed the Jewish money to get elected to help you out. No, he needed your votes to get elected to help the Jewish money out. And MAGA, the movement, is just a casualty. That's kind of how you have to look at it.
Yeah.
For them, all of the hopes and dreams and aspirations that were projected onto Trump or placed onto Trump, the true belief, the following, all of this to them is an acceptable casualty. It's collateral damage. It will burn up like a rocket on re-entry. All of that is stuff that will burn up so that the payload can be delivered. And the payload is the war. The payload is the cover-up. Trump is a lame duck. He's term limited out. And this administration is really about securing as much money as possible for him and his cronies
their pockets
so that he can have a golden parachute. That's really what this is. When you pay very close attention, Trump coin and gold card and Trump this and Trump that, all the shit that he's selling, all the deals that he's doing on behalf of Saudi Arabia and Qatar and the Emirates and Israel, This is him building a safety net, a golden parachute for him and his family. That's what everybody in the cabinet is doing. In order to secure that, they're using the public office, the wars, the deals, all these different things. And in the process, all of that goodwill is being basically burned up as fuel. It's being eaten up and destroyed. That's really the proper mental model. I said it the other night. Trump wasn't elected and he's covering up the files, much to our dismay. Trump isn't elected and he's not doing mass deportations, to our frustration. He's not elected and he's going to war. And, we're like Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar. Like, what are you doing? War with Iran? What are you thinking, Merv? No, you can't do this. Like, no, he got elected to do those things. He got elected to bring us to war in Iran, to cover up the files, to bring in the H-1Bs. That's why he's there. And unless and until you understand that, it's just going to keep happening. And it will happen again in 28 with Vance.
Yeah, I'm not voting for that.
Who is Pam Bondi?
I don't see him winning.
Who picked Pam Bondi, actually? It's an important question. Anybody know where Pam Bondi comes from?
She used to lobby for
These are the
Israel,
details you guys need to think about. You want to understand politics? Where does J.D. Vance come from? Ohio. Les Wexner is from Ohio. Vivek is from Ohio.
Bondi
Palmer Luckey is building
Florida,
his plant in Ohio. Okay, these are the things that matter. Where is Pam Bondi from?
Florida.
Yeah. Mike Waltz, the disgraced national security advisor who sold this out to Netanyahu, is from Florida. Marco Rubio, puppet of the Adelsons, sponsor of regime change, is from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Why are these people from Florida? Because Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, is from Florida.
She's
the Ballard lobbyist.
She's a big wig down here.
She's from Florida.
Very much so.
And she brought all the Florida creatures with her. Who else is from Florida? The Adelsons. The Adelsons are headquartered in Florida, and they sponsor everybody in Florida.
It's basically Jew heaven down here.
Because what's Florida? It's a Jewish stronghold. South Florida is a Jewish stronghold.
Bro, you have no idea how many there are. I've said this before, but there are so many of them that they literally have a Brooklyn accent in South Florida. People that have never been to New York.
Pam Bondi is some idiot Zionist politician from Florida, from the DeSantis office, which is pro-Jewish.
Oh, Leah.
Okay? You were never going to get anything other than this. People are disappointed. You were never going to get anything other than this. It was apparent last year in December during the transition when Trump was making his selections for the cabinet, and it was Rubio, Waltz, Bondi, Kristi Noem, Ratcliffe. We knew we were going to get fucked. We knew it. Because that's where they came from, and that's who they are. And people are shaking their head. They're disappointed. They're surprised. You can't be. You can't be. This is what you get. I warned you about Susie Wiles. I warned you about Pam Bondi. I warned you about Rubio, Vance, Waltz, all these people. And now she's in the congressional hearing. They're asking her to release the files. She says, what about the stock market? We're moving on. What about our record? Yeah, what about your record?
You're an idiot,
sucks. So the Epstein files are going to destroy the Trump movement, and good. They should. The Trump movement deserves to be destroyed, and something else needs to be born from it. Something else needs to grow in its place. Something stronger, tougher, harder, more severe. And it's not J.D. Vance, I'll tell you that much. By the way, where's our good pal J.D. Vance on the files? Here, let me tell you the most important question to ask in the next 3 years. Where is J.D. Vance on the Epstein files? Because everybody keeps telling me that J.D. Vance is the real deal. Everybody keeps telling me, no, I've talked to him and he's legit. No, I trust him. No, I think he's good. I think he's the real deal.
Nah, fuck him.
Oh, really? Why? Because he did a photo op with Charlie Kirk's casket? Why?
Piss
Because
on
he threw
that.
himself in front of the cameras every opportunity on immigration, on the issues for the base, because he was at the Turning Point convention? Where is JD Vance, the whisperer to the base? Where is he on the Epstein files? He's pulling up Bronze Age pervert GPT to try to find the base thing to say about this, isn't he?
Yep.
Like everything else. He's trying to go to the AI model that was trained on BAP
That's what
and
that
raw
is.
egg nationalist.
It's blowing with the wind.
That was funded by Peter Thiel. And he's trying to find
We don't want
the
somebody
LLM
like
that's going to tell him what to say about the files. Where is it? It's not in Palladium. Where is it? Where's my hot take? Where's my hot take for the base chuds on the Epstein files? I'm not getting it. It's not coming up. Where is fat chud JD Vance that just wants to drink Code Red and play Halo with you on this one? Is he going to prosecute Les Wexner? Is he going to speak out against Howard Lutnick? Is he going to push the DOJ for accountability? Or is he going to defer to President Trump on this one?
Like we don't want somebody. We want somebody who their gut reaction is the right reaction. That not that they go and fucking put the shit in front of committees. We want somebody that has a good gut reaction, good judgment. That's what we want. And this rule by committee, it's feminine, it's woman coded, and it's no good. It's just no good.
Does with everything. This fucking idiot. So I'm telling you, this Epstein thing, this is the albatross. This is the rotting,
Truly
infected wound in the center of the Trump movement. It is going to kill it slowly, and I cannot wait. Cannot wait. I hope the Epstein scandal costs them the midterms. I hope it allows Democrats to impeach and indict and subpoena every member of this Trump government. And I hope that this goes on until 2028. And I hope that this piece of shit Trump administration brings down JD Vance with it.
Me too. I hope so too. I hope he's fucked.
Fantasize about the Trump administration being a burning building and JD Vance is chained to the mattress and he's going to burn with it. I cannot fucking wait, because it couldn't happen to a more deserving person and group of people than these. That's my hope. That is my aspiration. And out of the ashes of this disaster, we can actually get something
good. We can get somebody who's good,
new,
somebody that we
different.
Want. Yeah.
We could get somebody, maybe it's a dark horse,
yes.
Maybe it's somebody nobody's talking about yet, but we could get a different kind of candidate that's actually going to do the job. That's my aspiration. That's my hope here.
Yeah, I don't want to get stuck with this crop of
And mark my words, that is what's going to happen.
They're
Democrats
trash.
are going to ride this one. They are going to bring the house of cards down, and they're going to bring it down on fat-ass JD Vance. You played yourself, Tucker. Tucker played himself on this one. Tucker and Vance, all these people, Peter Thiel, they played themselves. You know, I can't destroy the Thiel network, but he can, Jeffrey Epstein. And you wonder why we stand Epstein. You wonder why we wear the quarter zip. You know, I can't bring down the Jewish-controlled Trump puppet government.
But maybe
I can't bring down
can.
The entity known as JD Vance.
Fucking take the Epstein class
But he can.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein in the background.
With the quarter zip.
But he can.
Hell yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein, if you can hear, from beyond the grave.
Or from wherever you are.
Grave, Jeffrey Epstein is going to bring down the Trump edifice and the roof.
Bro, he's literally bringing down England's fucking parliament, and it's Keir Starmer. So it's taking government people out. It's taking them out, and it would not surprise me if all these Epstein files, if they still end up taking them down and taking JD Vance's political future down with it. You know, just taking the whole lot of them out.
Will cave in on top of JD Vance and that whole fake bullshit thing they're trying to foist upon us. It's perfect. It's poetic.
Yes.
I'm here for it.
Me too.
And you know what? Here's the best part. It doesn't even need to be this way. At any time, they could reverse this. Don't you realize that? At any point in time, the Trump administration could reverse this and they could have a golden age. How? Fire Howard Lutnick, indict Les Wexner, release the files, feed these people to the sharks.
Yes. Bro,
if Trump were smart, he would feed them.
The people he's helping, feed them to the sharks. Feed them to us. We will rip them to shreds. It'll be like a garbage disposal. They will be just a blended flesh in a glass.
To the wolves. Instead of going down with the ship. It doesn't have to be this way. If Trump unredacted all the files, if he came out on True Social tomorrow and said, you know what, enough bullshit, Pam Bondi, release every file, unredact everything, we'll indict everybody, we'll fire anybody that's named in there.
We mean business.
The approval would flip overnight. Overnight. Trump's approval with 18 to 29s would soar.
Dude.
Favorability would soar. Job approval would soar. Overnight, it would be corrected and he would be seen as a hero. All he has to do, cut the foreign aid to Israel, call up Netanyahu and say, we are standing with Iran. We are standing with our other allies. Turkey, Egypt, Emirates, Qatar, Pakistan, Oman,
bro, that would be
soon to be Iran.
Amazing.
We are not bombing them. We're not doing another Middle Eastern war.
In fact, we're going to bomb you.
As a matter of fact, we're doing regime change in Israel.
Yes.
When is Israel going to hold the new election?
Right, because they
when
keep
are you actually going to see
off.
justice? We'll stand behind our European allies, France, UK, Portugal, Spain, Ireland, Germany, Italy, calling for accountability for Israel. Trump did those two things, he would cement his legacy as one of the great presidents of all time.
He would.
He would be the people's champion. He would be America first. He could do it.
He could, and we could have a golden age.
Of the United States.
And he could have like a dynasty where they stay in power
you do
for
all
30
that,
years.
You get enough political capital, you get rid of the filibuster rule, you do the nuclear option, you get rid of the filibuster, and then you jam through voting reform.
Yes.
You jam through nationwide voter ID, and Republicans never lose an election again. You jam through mandatory E-Verify.
They won't do it.
You deport 5 million illegals in 4 years. Like, it could be done. You're the president. You are the president. Man. You have the power. You're in the chair.
Dude, he's right. Trump could do this. We're getting fucked because he's bought and sold. Trump could do all of that, and we would love him for it, but he's not going to.
The office.
There's always an excuse.
But they won't. These are the two realities that we could inhabit. Either one, Trump goes down with world Jewry, he goes down with the ship, he goes down with Israel and Les Wexner and Jeff Epstein and Howard Lutnick and this sick shit, or he could do the right thing.
Yeah.
And maybe that's idealistic and maybe that's naive. But you're the president. You could take a stand. You could hunker down in the White House. You could get your Secret Service and you can make it a fortress and you can lean in. That's really what it is. So this is your Pam Bondi situation. What a joke. That's your attorney general. You should feel embarrassed. You should feel humiliated. Trump promised most transparent administration. We're going to release the Epstein files. We're going to put America first. We're going to drain the swamp. And now you've got Epstein. You've got Ronald Lauder in the files. Leon Black's kid is running the Development Finance Corporation. Ronald Lauder's kid is going to be the chair of the Federal Reserve.
Dude,
Howard Lutnick is the Commerce Secretary.
So crooked.
All these guys are on the board for peace in Gaza. Joe Lonsdale's working with Benjamin Black on the DFC. Peter Thiel invested $40 million with Epstein. And his guy Vance is the vice president. Like, it's so entrenched. They told you they were going to release the files, and now you got your attorney general defending all of that. Who would have thought? Who would have thought in 2016, when Trump was saying the war in Iraq was a mistake and we're going to build a wall and all this kind of stuff, who would have thought Trump would be the one to deliver the decisive blow
to Iran,
the regime change war against Iran that Israel always wanted? It's so backwards. Who would have thought that
Total
Trump
Trojan
would be the one
horse.
to protect the ultimate insider, Jeffrey Epstein? Talk about a swamp.
Seriously.
Who would have thought?
Dude, he's right. This is so fucked.
That's the state of the play. That's your Pam Bondi. Who could even defend that? Where's John Doyle? Where's Patrick Casey? You going to defend that performance? You fucking idiots. I look at a guy like John Doyle from Blaze TV. He literally got hired to be a goyish version of me.
He's a loser.
That's what you are. You are a skin-suited, goyish version of me. You are the version of me that is paid by Glenn Beck, the wannabe Jew.
The wannabe
because
Jew.
You're never going to criticize Israel. You're going to glaze Trump.
Like a bitch.
And Doyle's job on Goy TV, on Blaze TV, is to glaze Trump. It's like Glaze TV. Your job is to go in and day out and say, here's why Trump is the end-all be-all. Here's why voting Republican. What do you have to say about this? Pam Bondi goes there and says, what about the Dow? She's a fucking idiot, and Trump hired her. And there is something in the Epstein files, and they are covering it up, obviously.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about Les Wexner? What do you have to say about these people being involved in this? And they say, oh, it's a Democrat hoax. It's a big nothing burger. Do you even believe yourself? Do you even believe what you're saying? They have been memed into being these like Republican creatures. Once upon a time, Trump was an outsider that blew up the establishment in both parties. Now Trump is the Republican establishment, and you are just on the hamster wheel now. You're just on the wheel. You are on the treadmill, forever chasing the reward that will never arrive. We'll get him in the next one, right? Isn't that right?
That's what, yeah, pretty much.
You know, before the election, this is the most important election ever. This is the one. It's going to be different this time. Then you're in it. Well, we know it's not everything you wanted, but, you know, we got to help them finish the job. We got to vote in the next one, right?
Fuck that.
You are literally a mouse. You are a hamster on a wheel chasing a reward. You are a mouse on a wheel chasing a block of cheese. 2016, we're going to make America great again. 2018, you know, we didn't even get started on that wall. But that's because we just need more votes.
Where the fuck is our wall?
2020, okay, we didn't build anything. Well, you got to vote for us. We could keep it great. 2022, well, you know, we didn't even try to have election integrity or anything. We got to hold the line or the Democrats are going to eat our lunch.
They haven't said anything about COVID. They
Golden age, 2026. Well, we got to get back on track. We need another vote.
Yeah, I'm done voting for them.
Just keep running. Just keep running.
Dick.
Just keep running. Just keep running on that wheel, running on the treadmill. You'll get the cheese eventually. You'll get the reward.
While we're being replaced, they're doing this.
In the meantime, the other side is getting everything they want. You know?
Yep.
They got their corporate tax cut. That's been a done deal for 10 years. You know, think about that. We can't get a stinking wall built. You know how much a border wall costs? It costs $17 billion. Do you know how much a corporate tax rate cut costs? Like $800 billion.
Right.
You know, like think of it.
It's insane.
10 years ago, Trump said, we're going to build a wall and Mexico will pay for it. That costs $17 billion.
It has nothing to do with the dollar amount. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with politics. But, you know, Trump just to make people happy, he puts a few soldiers on the border. But that is, they barely do that. They don't want to close our border. Even Trump doesn't really. Do we know if our border's secure right now? Maybe they're just not showing it. Maybe that's just not on the news. What if there's thousands of people flowing over the border right now? Would you know about it? I mean, how would we know? I don't see it on the news.
You know how much it costs to cut corporate taxes 10% for 10 years? Like $500 billion.
That's insane.
And we've had it for 10 years. Think about that.
That's crazy.
You know how much money we've given Israel in the past 10 years? $38 billion. You know how much we gave them last year? $25 billion.
That's incredible.
So you're chasing that reward on the hamster wheel. And meanwhile, AI gets their regulation moratorium. Wall Street gets their corporate tax cut. They get their lower interest rate. They get their COVID bailout. Israel gets their aid, their missiles, their war. You see, this is the problem. Anyway, but that's that. And they say, well, we can't do deportations because it's unpopular. Then they cover up the Epstein files, right? We can't do deportations. It's too unpopular. Then they cover up the Epstein files, Dude. DHS just gets finished. We got to draw down ICE. We're not going to deport anybody at all.
And then they
just
drop
the worst
the
criminals ever because it's too unpopular. Then they walk down the hall and they say, you're out of order. Jeffrey Epstein was a model citizen and Howard Lutnick did nothing wrong. It's like, okay, you're being fucked.
They certainly dropped those
being
files
lied to and you are
to get
being
the heat
raped
off of them.
We're just so sorry. We cannot deport 10 million people. Too unpopular and we don't have the money and it just can't happen. Covering up the Epstein files like your life depends on it. Hey, say no more. It will be done.
Ha! Right?
It will be done, my lord.
Sad, man.
I pledge myself to your teachings, Lord Wexner. This is how it is. So, unless and until the base rises up of middle American radicals and puts their foot down and says, we're not voting for any of it. And I think here's my playbook, okay? This is the future.
Man, what if we could...
You know where this is headed? We need an independent candidate. Maybe they're going to run in the Republican primary, and if they don't win, they're going to go independent. But this is what we need to do. We need a spoiler.
Yeah.
We need to run as Republican, and if we don't win, we need to be a spoiler.
Yep.
I recognize it's a bad idea to tell people don't vote, because then people...
Just fucking do a Ross Perot. Go in there and, Ross Perot was legit. The dude was a businessman, but we need that. We need to give them a middle finger, the Republicans, run somebody who we actually want.
Say, well, we got to use our vote. Here's what we got to do. Run in the Republican primary. If you don't win, run as a spoiler. And we need everybody to vote for the spoiler.
Yes.
Call it the America First nuclear option. Call it the America First Samson option. This is the Nick Fuentes option. This is the yay button. This is our Samson option. You don't want to release the files. You don't want to deport the illegals. We are all going to vote for a third-party candidate. We're all going to vote for an independent that is promising to go after Les Wexner, that is promising to release the files, that is promising to get Israel to back down. And we're not going to get a majority. But if we get even 5%, 10%, Republicans cannot win an election. If we get 5 to 10% in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Arizona, Texas, Nevada, Georgia,
that many of us
fucked. And you can't win.
Twist the Republicans' arm.
You can't win. Can't win in those states. You
and
can't win in Iowa.
Them
you
to
can't win in
negotiate
Ohio.
with
You
us.
can't win in Indiana. And it'll be different state by state. But if we can get enough people to vote for an America First candidate and America First independent, then you lose the election.
You got to do this. This has to be done.
So either you get that endorsement because you do what we say, or it's off the table. You can't win. That's how we have to play. That's the only thing we can do. And we got to take that challenge to fat boy JD Vance.
And Ross Perot, he used to take out commercials or he took out studio time and would do like 5 or 30-minute shows where he would explain economics or explain a policy. Bro, he got down on everybody else's level and really leveled with people. I mean, when I saw those shows, like that was just a few years ago, I saw him and I thought, man, why don't we have something like that now?
That's what he's going to have to contend with. It's not good enough. It's not enough. So that's that. We're going to move on, though. We're going to take a look at our super chats. We'll see what you guys have to say about all this. Let me take a look here. But that's my playbook for 2026, 2028.
I like that playbook. It's a good playbook. We can
They're
make
asking,
a difference.
what do you want? What is it that you
and
actually
they'll have
want?
to deal with us. You got to close the border.
I want a cleansing fire. They say, we can't just burn it all down. We're going to.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to. You fucked up, and now we're going to. We are going to burn it all down, and we're going to build something different. And I don't care how long it takes. Maybe it'll take 30 years. I'm a young man.
Right? We're not old men.
And I got nothing but time.
Yeah.
I don't have money. I don't have connections. Okay, I don't have
But he has
family.
a voice. He has a voice, guys.
But time.
Time.
Nothing but time.
And a voice.
It'll take 30 years to rebuild. I got 30 years. I'm 27. I got the 30 years. I'll still be spry. I'll still be, I watch my McDonald's intake or whatever, but we got time. Fuck them. Fuck them. This administration has squandered any goodwill, any faith that we had in your ability to fix things. You don't have it. Fuck you. Now the whole administration says criminal illegals. Fuck you. She goes up there and says, what about the Dow Jones? What about that? Do you think any Zoomer is in the Dow Jones? You think any Zoomer is into the stock market? Zoomers are lucky if they have a fucking job, Trump goes up there and says, what about your 401ks? And we want asset prices to go up indefinitely. Okay, what about everybody that's under the age of 45? What about everybody that's under the age of 30? That can't afford a home, that doesn't have a job, gets laid off, takes you a year to get another job, underemployed, you got a degree, and you're working an hourly wage, working a part-time job or something. That's ridiculous. All right, let's take a look. Let's see what we got here. We're going to get into these super chats. Let's take a look.
Sean Connery sent $100.
Yo, thank you for the big super chat. I appreciate it. No message. A mercy. $100 and no message. Beautiful. Absolutely
Emerald
beautiful.
sent $45. Even though you want me in the gulag, I still ride with you plus the Grow Wipers 1000% LOL America first always. Peace. You're right about the Super Bowl performances. I think us being Irish, Italian Catholics from the North has a lot to do with it.
Shut the
The Pussy
fuck
show was so
up.
dorky
You're
plus
an
lame.
idiot.
The South plus evangelicals love that kind of stuff lol.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. The Southern, I don't know what it is, but Southerners, you guys got to get a little edgier. Southerners have this weird thing going on where they love to see this humility, the false deference. You gotta get like a warrior, Southerners need to be like Rebel Yell, need to be warriors again. Yeah, how about that, huh? I just want to catch my fish. I just want to drink my beer and watch my game.
Dude, down here,
It's like you're a
there's
white
lot of
man.
guys,
He literally, one of the lyrics is, I keep waking up to all
guys
this stuff
riding
I don't
around
want to
with
hear.
big ass fucking stars, flags, stars,
It's
and
like,
bars
oh
in
my
their truck.
gosh,
The
you're
bed of their
literally a
jacked
baby.
up
You're
truck.
literally crying and you need
There's
a
a lot
safe
of them
space.
guys down here.
I'll read you the lyrics. Ain't easy being country in
I'll
this
be right back. I gotta
country.
make water.
This goof. Yeah, he says, I just want to catch my fish, drive my truck, drink my beer, and not wake up to all the stuff I don't want to hear. Not wake up to stuff, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear this. This is bad. It's like, dude, the same kind of gun I hunt with just killed another man. Only thing I ever shot was a deer on my deer stand. People that are killing each other with guns, they don't just use them for hunting and fishing. Oh my gosh. I don't want to turn the TV on, told if I tell my daughter that little boys ain't little girls, I'd be up the creek in hot water in this cancel your ass world. Being told I'm a downright hateful monster if I back the blue and badge. Oh my gosh. It's just so pathetic, man. Pathetic. Pathetic. You're white? You're not white. You're a sorry excuse for a white man. White men used to be Vikings. They would literally pillage and rape everything. Do you know that? Vikings used to go in and just fucking rip people in half and rape everybody and torch the whole village. And you're crying and saying, I just keep hearing stuff I don't want to hear. You know? It's so sad. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it all ways. White people want to say, we're explorers, pioneers, conquerors, not stolen, conquered. You know, they want to say that, our glorious past. And then they want to say, I just keep hearing stuff I don't want to hear. What, are you going to cancel me? You're going to cancel me because I don't want to be trans? It's just sad. We need to be berserkers again. We need to be warriors.
Coastside 689 sent $150. Any takes on Nate Fisher and New Founding? Invest or stay away?
Well, I'm not going to give you like investment advice, but I think Nate Fisher's a smart guy. Thank you for the big super chat. He's a very intelligent guy. He seems good. I worry, though, about some of the partnerships. I'll be honest. And I don't know all the inside baseball. Well, I know some of it. But he seems to be affiliated with a lot of these Straussians, and Christian nationalists seem to be infiltrated by these Zionist types. And I think he's got to be careful. I think he's good. There's good people involved, but I think they got to be careful. I think they, like everybody, they're too involved with these Zionists. It's a little bit, we got to be hip. We got to be hip to the threat that they pose.
Grace sent $20. You have made the AFPOV on Israel and Palestine conflict clear, but you avoided the big questions. Should Israel as a state exist? If no, why? How many was it? 6,271,000. The Hitler LARP is always attractive, but your leading stupid shuts down a path of thinking you haven't even fully articulated. Also debate destiny.
I don't avoid the, first of all, whether Israel exists or not, that's not a big question. When people say, should Israel exist? Israel does exist.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're not going to stop existing anytime soon. So people say, ought Israel exist? It's an irrelevant question.
Yeah.
Israel does exist.
It's not up to us anyway.
You know, should they not exist? Well, how are you going to go about that? You're either going to need to kill everybody. That's really the only option. So your question is, should Israel be destroyed by a nuclear weapon? They're not going anywhere. They have a nuclear arsenal, and they're not going to leave.
Yeah, they'll kill everybody.
So when people say, should Israel exist, well, what are the options then? If they should exist, okay, then they exist.
Israel isn't going to blow up the world.
If they should not exist, then how are we going to make them not exist? You'd have to literally nuke them into oblivion. Should that happen?
They're
no, I don't think
spiteful enough
Israel
to
should
kill
be
the whole
nuked
world.
into oblivion. I don't think that all of those people should be incinerated in a nuclear war. No, I don't think so. The reason that people say, should Israel exist, does it have a right to exist, they are asking that question like a prosecutor. Why do they ask that question? It's to create a chain of questioning. It's one link in a chain. And so this is how it goes. They say, should Israel exist, or does it have a right to exist? And it's sort of a convoluted question. Does anybody have a right to exist? I mean, what does that mean?
Right.
What does that really mean? Do I have a right to exist? If yes, then does that justify everything? You know, if I have a right to exist, then what if I decide I don't want to work? Do you have to go to work to feed me? In order to exist, I need food, I need water, I need to be defended at all times. I'm a wanted man. So do I have a right to private security? Should you be enslaved and forced to defend me outside my house because people are trying to kill me? If I have a right to exist, then I'm entitled to private security. I'm entitled to food and water. I'm entitled to medicine. I'm entitled to money. I'm entitled to all the things that give me flourishing. And that's really where that goes. Because if Israel has a right to exist, well, then they have to be able to defend themselves. What does that look like? If they have the right to defend themselves, well, then they need our weapons. They need F-35s. They need a nuclear bomb. They need to be able to do whatever they feel is justified for their safety. It's a logical chain. If I have a right to exist and I have a right to defend myself, then Israel has a nuclear arsenal. Then Israel has a qualitative military edge.
Well, they steal
Israel's
shit.
entitled to our money. Then Israel's entitled to do whatever they deem is necessary in Gaza, the West Bank, Syria, Lebanon, Iran, Yemen, Iraq.
A good point.
It's about establishing a logical chain. But here's the thing about that. Every country has an obligation to fight for its own survival. Yeah, I have some natural rights. I have a right to live. I have a natural right to pursue happiness. I have a natural right to the product of my labor. You know, I have natural rights, but I also have obligations. I have to work. I have social commitments. I have obligations in a society. Yes, we have a right to live, but we also have an obligation to toil. How do we eat and sustain ourselves? We have to work the land. And in an advanced, complex economy, we have to do other specialized things to be able to get money to afford food and domicile and the things that are necessary for flourishing, right? Rights and responsibilities. We live in a society, and so we have social obligations. Well, among the community of nations, nations have obligations too. And so, you know, people say Israel has the right to defend itself. Okay, well, you know, the things that they are doing, they are only able to do because we are protecting them.
Mm-hmm.
So we are paying
We're a
for
bully,
their security.
holding them down. Or
and
holding
that creates something called
people
moral
down
hazard.
while our little punk-ass
They're getting a
sidekick
good
beats up
that
on
they
them.
don't have to pay for. They're taking risks
Like from
that
the
are
Christmas
backed
story.
up by us. See the problem?
I hate it.
Moral hazard means that if I'm underwriting your risky behavior, then you are going to behave in a very risky way because you are
Insured.
insulated from the downside, right? If I tell you that I'm going to give you $100,000 to invest, and I say I'm going to guarantee all your losses, what are you going to do? Are you going to invest in bonds? If I give you $100,000 and say, here's $100,000, invest it how you wish, and if you lose all of it, I'll reimburse you. Are you going to invest it in bonds where you make a 2% return or whatever it is?
No.
3% return? Or are you going to invest it in something with the most upside?
Of course.
Whatever happens, you're going to be made whole again. This is called moral hazard. So we're telling Israel, no matter what happens, we will bail you out.
Yeah.
We're telling Israel, if you get into trouble, we
they're
will defeat your
belligerent.
enemies. If you antagonize the whole region, you turn the whole region against you, everybody's bombing you, we'll shoot down the missiles. We'll deter aggression. We'll bribe your neighbors. If people try to sanction you, we'll sanction them. So what does Israel do? They engage in the riskiest behavior possible. They do things they otherwise would not do. Things they wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah.
They cannot genocide Palestinians in Gaza on their own.
The world wouldn't
Why
let
not?
them.
One, they don't have the ability. They don't have the weapons to do it. Two, in a world without our aid, all of their neighbors would go to war with them.
Absolutely.
Egypt, Iran, Hezbollah, PMF, the Assad regime, Saudi Arabia. In a world without the United States, every country would sanction them.
Yeah, well, that's
all
why
their
he
neighbors
heard
would go to war with
he
them.
got
They
all
would rain
that
missiles down upon
money
them.
in the special
The reason they don't is because we are
that deal
deterring
where we
them
give them
from doing
$20
that.
billion now.
You see? So that is why I don't entertain that question. That is a rhetorical question. It is meant to create a logical chain. It's basically meant to trap you.
It's truly obscene.
It's meant to set you down a path that inexorably leads to the conclusion that Israel can do whatever it wants. If Israel has a right to exist, then it can do whatever the fuck it wants. That is where they want to take you with that. But it's a faulty premise. Does Israel have a right to exist? Well, theoretically, no country has a right to exist. And if they do, they have to exist
in a framework
alongside other nations.
Just like people.
They have rights, they have obligations. They exist within a global community of other nations, and they have obligations. They have to respect the rights of other people. They have to respect the rights of other nations. They can't just do whatever they want.
Nope.
So yeah, they have a right to defend themselves. Well, I'd say they defended themselves on October 7th. What they're doing now is not self-defense. Okay? So it's a bogus question. 6,271,000. I don't know. Honest to God, I really don't know. There's a very intense debate that goes on, and I don't really think that's the point. You know, to me, the point is not how many died. I think it was fewer than 6 million. I think it was maybe 4 million, maybe 3 million.
Who knows?
That's just my gut. But there's a big rabbit hole. Trust me when I tell you this. There is an autistic community of revisionists. There's an equally autistic community of people that are not Jewish, that do not have a dog in the fight, but they really believe it happened. And there's a lot of scholarship to go through, and I haven't done that, and I honestly think it's a waste of time because it doesn't really matter. What matters is that we are being indoctrinated about this myth. That's what matters. What matters is that there's a Holocaust museum in every city that is subsidized. What matters is that Holocaust awareness is mandated by law in education, with holidays.
Same.
What matters is how it is used. So it could be 6 million. I really don't care. I mean, every death is a tragedy, and if it was 6 million, that's a horrific thing. I also don't think that it precludes us from having a white country. I also don't think it precludes us from having a strong executive or from criticizing Jews as an organized political force.
Yeah.
So it could be 6 million, 10 million, 100 million. It could be 2,000. I really don't give a fuck. I don't feel guilty about it. I shouldn't be blackmailed about it, and it shouldn't cast a shadow over our politics. So it doesn't really matter, actually. See, this is the thing. You are some kind of operative. You're avoiding these questions because these are bullshit questions. This is a lesson to you, Goyim. Don't get hung up on stupid questions. You know, they try to take you to a place. It's sort of like when you get kidnapped at gunpoint. They try to take you to a second location where they could, like, rape you and kill you. Don't go to a second location. If a bad faith actor or a Jew puts a gun to your head and says, does Israel have a right to exist? Is it 6 million? Don't go with them to a second location. Isn't that what they always say? Never, if you get abducted, don't go to a second location. Because what are they going to do? They're going to tie you up. They're going to do some weird shit to you.
Kill you.
You know, they're going to rape you. They're going to pour acid inside your skull. You know, they're going to do some fucked up shit. And then they're going to kill you and dismember you and dissolve your body in a vat of acid. Like, that's what they're going to do.
Or set you on fire.
And that is what Jews are doing. They're saying,
burn you.
Does Israel have a right to exist? And if you say yes, it's like you're getting into the car with them and they're taking you to Israel. And then they're just going to beat you up and say, well, then if Hamas attacked Israel, then they get to do whatever they want. And, well, if 6 million died, then don't let them do it.
Yeah.
You just hit them with, well, do white people have a right to exist? Do white people have a right to defend
themselves? Do we
themselves?
have a right to have a country?
How many white people died at the hands of Jewish communists? Who invented communism? A Jew. How many people did communism kill? Karl Marx invented communism. The Bolsheviks were mostly Jewish, and they created the Soviet Union, which backed all the communist revolutions. It was a
Marx wasn't a
stronghold.
German. He was a
That was
Jew.
the source of a global revolution. So you hit him with another one right back. I mean, so who cares? Also, it's the 21st century. Why are we talking about this? Okay, some Jews died 80 years ago on another continent at the hands of a regime that we went to war with. So fucking what? Americans are dying now. Our countrymen are dying now. That happened in the past. People are dying now from abortion, fentanyl, crime.
Yep.
We have a fertility crisis. Let's talk about those problems.
Yes.
So
Those are the problems that I'm worried about.
Say about that. The Hitler LARP is attractive. You don't get it, clearly.
Blake R sent $20. It's demoralizing seeing all the hate you're getting on X. The IQ filter is strong. They don't see they're doing exactly what the JS want them to do. Tone police, performative outrage and pathetic pandering. Wank.
Yeah, it is what it is. This happens every so often. But, there's a crowd that, look, I don't expect everybody to agree with everything I say. And the purpose of the show is to think about these things. The purpose of the show, I mean, look, I'm not a politician. I'm not running for office, and I'm not looking to pass legislation here.
Supposed to give you food for thought.
I'm a talker. My job is to talk about these things and think about these things.
Flesh out the ideas.
And, people think that I do something else. People think that I'm in the business of reinforcing the party line. Like I'm here to be a cheerleader. I'm not a fucking cheerleader.
I love that. I don't want to.
I'm not here to get everybody gassed up. I'm not here to get everybody.
That's my critique of Charlie
make everybody
Kirk.
feel good about the things they believe in.
Party man.
My job is to make you think. My job is to be thought provoking. My job is to get to the truth. And, and I know that when people hear something they don't like, a lot of people freak out. The test of an intelligent person is whether they're able to entertain an idea that they don't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are incapable of that. Wait, I'm hearing something I don't like. Yeah, I hate you. You're different now. So, fuck them.
I could be your grandma sent $25. Hello, mister, you could be my grandson. How many books do you read at a time? Are they actual books or electronic? Do you read in the bathroom? Do you read fiction?
Reading is overrated. I'll tell you that much. Reading is highly over. Everyone should read. People are always fixated on my reading habits. What do you read? How do you get that smart?
By being
reading
smart.
is overrated. It's not about filling your head with information and ideas. You need some of it, but what you really need to do is think. Okay?
Huh?
What you really need to do is think.
Introspection.
You need to sit and think. You need to walk and think. You need to drive and think, eat and think. You need to be thinking. Most people are unthinking, uncritical, unexamined, and they go through their life. I don't even know what people's state of mind is. It's almost like they're just not even there. They're not chewing on it. They're not working through things, Me, I'm always thinking about something, and occasionally I have a moment where I go, aha. There it is, and
Me too.
you can't force it. But it's important to be able to think systematically. It's important to be able to
think
kind
to
of
a
just
conclusion.
Ponder. And people are always caught up on reading, and that's so wrong. What do you read? Where are you getting this from?
I love
when
I figure something out. I'm like,
coming from here. I
it.
Look out at the world. I observe things.
Or when I make an observation.
I talk to people. I think deeply about our interactions. I compare and contrast. So, people look at me like I'm reading 3 books at one time, and I just never put the books down. I don't think I read probably more than your average person.
Mm-hmm.
I read the news every day. And I'm on Twitter all the time, and I talk to interesting people. But that's how you get information. I talk to people. I talk to interesting people. I go on social media. I read the news, and I think. And that's it. It's important to read, but you should read a book every day. I mean, not like a whole book, but you should pick up a book at least,
It
half
helps.
hour, an hour a day.
It helps with
you
your
should be
vernacular.
subscribed to one of the papers of record, Wall Street Journal.
It actually helps you talk better because, you know, when you're reading, you know, you're basically saying everything that's in the book in your head. And I've found that it will change the way I talk. Like if I'm cussing a lot or using filler words a lot, if I read good books, if I read just a little bit of a day or a little bit every day, that my uh the way that I talk changes with other people. It's crazy. I really think it's actually pretty fucking awesome.
To Post, New York Times. You should read the news every day. You should read a book every day, you know, but you don't need to go crazy. Most people just aren't that smart. How many books do I read at a time? I mean, here's what I do lately is I pick up a book, I read about 50 pages, and then I put it down and I never pick it up again. Then I pick up another book, I read 50, 100 pages, put it down, never pick it up again. And I do it with PDFs and regular books. And I don't read fiction. So,
Matthew sent $30.
Happy?
Hey Nick, I am the elite human capital you were talking about. Standing back and standing by, waiting for activation. You can always chat with me in the group chat. Have a great night.
Wow, sounds
London
great.
Gigachat sent $20. Loving the Iran analysis. Nick, the risk of Israel getting their war in this triggering broader regional civil conflict, and therefore major Arab refugee migration, is a terrifying prospect for Europe. We're flooded with unassimilated Muslims and this would crush our demographic outlook. Praying Europe returns to Christ.
So they're not Arabs. So they're not Arabs in Iran, they are Persians.
Yep.
They're Persians.
My dad's
Turks,
boss is
they're
Persian.
Kurds.
I went to school
They're
with
not
his son.
Arabs, not a huge Arab population there. But I get your point, but just an important correction. But yeah, that's not really, I don't even really think that's the biggest issue at hand, actually. I mean, yeah, there would be a refugee crisis. I mean, I would assume they would actually be assimilated maybe somewhere else. But whatever, man.
Crashing on a 294 Groy percent $25. Ah, another beautiful day in Wisconsin, otherwise known as the Promised Land. How was the smog today down there in the trenches? Thick or super thick?
There's not really a ton of smog in Chicago. Wisconsin's nice, though. I'll give it to you. Wisconsin's pretty nice.
Groyper in the swamp sent $100. I don't get how these low red pillars are so stupid. You see these Groyper or Nazi accounts made in 2025 who think Fishback is a Fed because he doesn't say fuck the Jews and I hate African Americans. It's honestly so sad.
Thank you for the big super chat. Yeah.
London Gigachat sent $20.
Yeah.
Nigel Farage launched the Reformed Jewish Alliance this week, ironically only to be heckled by open borders ally Jews. He's also pushing the Epstein Russia hoax with Tommy Robinson, who authoring Jerusalem Post propaganda. The mainstream British right-wing alternative has been subverted by Israel. Christ is king.
Hey, I predicted this. I told you. Everyone said I was crazy. You know, they said that the UK migrant riots changed everything because the people have had enough. How naive can you be?
Red Pill Media X sent $25. W ends when Bad Bunny does a Mexican halftime show. He's speaking Spanish. This is clearly anti-white. W ends when Ye makes a song literally called Heil Hitler. Well, he's just a degenerate Negro. Turn that crap off. Like okay, so you can never win with these people. Artistically challenged much.
Yeah, good point.
Radioactive Trash sent $100. Here you go.
Hey, thanks. Thank you for the big super chat.
Main Bro Hyper Convert sent $20. Hey Nick, hope you're having a good night. Thoughts on fascism?
I think it's based. Young Boy,
based. I sent $25.
I
haven't
like
sent
it.
in a while. I wanted to thank you, the Grow Hypers and Christine for all the prayers after several surgeries, radiation and ongoing treatments from recent CT/MRI scans. I'm looking good. I remember when I sent a chat months ago, you said one of your parents went through radiation. Respect that shit's like hell. 07.
Not radiation, chemo. But hey, I'm glad to hear that, man. Good for you. God bless.
Brad sent $20. Nick, you have inspired me to go back to college to study poli-sci and cyber. Formerly an electrician. Thank you for the kick in the ass, man. Stopped overthinking it and just started doing it. Hopefully getting into DHS or FPS, and I'm excited to do my part for my country and for the movement. Love from you, boss.
Good. Love to hear it, man. Love it. You know, nothing wrong with being an electrician, but if you want to get involved, degree, government, you know, that's the kind of stuff we need. So good for you, man. Love it. God bless.
VA Grow Hyper 13 sent $20. In 2026, you can use buy now, pay later for OnlyFans.
The absolute state. Buy now, pay later for pizza? That's crazy.
Huh.
How much longer are we going to do that? The whole, what is the buy now, pay later? What is it called? Klarna? Klarna, DoorDash, we live in dystopia. Talk about late stage capitalism. We're doing Klarna for DoorDash. I'm voting for the giant meteor. I'm voting for the giant meteor that's going to destroy us all. Talk about late stage capitalism. They're using Klarna for DoorDash. Holy shit, dude. Like, really? Is anybody really even doing that?
String 769 sent $20. When are you going to go on the Sean Ryan show? That would be an awesome conversation.
Ask him. I don't know. Okay.
Orion Morales 085 on X sent $20. In furniture. My cock is nothing. It's an acorn. It's a toy. It has no sexual power. It deserves to be disfigured and demented by strangers. I deserve my bull. I deserve to have my weed stolen.
Okay. Thank you
Vance from ID sent $20. All of these retards go mixing in the chat every night.
That's crazy.
It's becoming insufferable. Are the people in the $100 per month chat higher IQ than this? Is there actual discourse between thinking human beings?
No. You'd be surprised. You would think that, but you're wrong. You would think that, filter it by whoever has $100 to give to a group chat, who cares enough, who's into the show enough. No, you'd be wrong. There's no escape. We live in hell. We live in normie hell. We live in normie idiot hell, and there's nowhere you can go to get away from it at all.
It's not normie hell. It's just hell.
You can charge people money. You can go somewhere else. It doesn't matter. Everywhere you go, there they are.
Skyline 3401 sent $30. There is no change in the plan.
Yep.
Gigi 4130 sent $20. Pocket square for the new suit.
No.
Unwoke reply sent $20. Harbinger.
What did I say? Harbinger? Harbinger? Is it Harbinger? Uh-oh. Candace Owens moment. Is it really Harbinger?
It's not Harbinger. It's Harbinger.
Wow.
Harbinger of death.
That's I feel like it was always Harbinger. That's got to be a Mandela effect thing. That's like a Berenstain Bears thing. All right, maybe we're all a little Candace Owens some
sent $20.
days.
Everyone in the Epstein files should be pardoned. Because let's be real, they probably had some sexy-ass 16-year-olds.
All right, no, not funny. Hey, that's not funny.
Antimatter Grow Hyper sent $20.
We don't do those kinds of jokes on this
Antimatter Grow
show.
Hyper sent $20.
That's not
Listening
the kind of
to Pam
humor
Bardas
we
speak
do.
is like nails on a chalkboard. Her speechwriter literally writes like a middle schooler. Maybe she hired Candace?
She's just a dumb bitch,
Avi Christus Rex sent $20. I am Kundas Uga Booga Gimme Banana.
Dude, that nigga can't read. That nigga can't
Avi
read
Christus
for
Rex
shit.
sent $20. Can't a poor old white guy drive a truck anymore?
Yeah, I love that song. Like, who's stopping you? I just want to cut my grass. Who the fuck is stopping you from cutting your grass? You can actually do that. The parts that you can't do are like anything political. And you need to fight in politics, actually. Like, I just want to cut the grass. You can cut the grass. I just want to catch the fish. You can catch fish. Then he goes, well, I just want to be able to say that men can't be women without getting canceled. Okay, well, that you need to fight for, okay? That you actually need to get involved in politics to achieve.
Grand Admiral Fuckface sent $20. Women invented evil and treachery. Chapter 1 of the Bible, by the way, only thing they have ever invented.
Yeah, that is good to know, actually. That is good to remember. Is that women were tempted first.
Lil Wade sent $100.
Yeah, they were.
Great show, looking good.
They
Keep
were.
it up.
And
don't let these super chats.
Women were used
Thank you
to
for the
get
big
Adam.
super chat.
He couldn't get Adam
everything black
to eat the apple, but he could get Eve to do it. He could get Eve to get Adam to do it, basically. And like that is so prescient and so like it makes perfect sense. But man, the devil was slick to do that, and if it's just perfect because that's the only enemy that we haven't just crushed, like just walked over like it was nothing. Literally, our own women.
I'm black-pilled by
That's
everything,
fucked.
okay? The super chats are just a kick in the balls. I'm black-pilled by everything. I'm black-pilled by life. And then super chats are just shoving my face in the mud. That's what the super chats do.
Super chats.
The super chats are just kicking me in the stomach while I'm down, gasping for air. I'm already black-pilled, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sent $20. Since you've got Portuguese roots, check out the YouTube channel Iberian History. It dives into Portuguese and Spanish history, culture, etc.
Oh, yeah, I'll check that out. I do. According to 23andMe, I'm Portuguese. They updated it. I always thought, I'm Mexican, so I'm like Spanish and indigenous. It says I'm 15% indigenous. I'm Otomi. And 10% Portuguese. That's the 25% Mexican.
Huh.
So
10%.
I'm 50% Italian, 25% Irish, 10% native, or excuse me, 15% native and 10% Portuguese.
His dad's more than half
I had no
native.
idea. Go figure. So I'm not
More
Spanish.
than half
kind
Indian.
of a bummer. I wish I was
That's
Spanish
crazy.
and not
He has
Portuguese,
10%
honestly,
Indian.
but that's okay. That's my roots.
He's a fucking half.
That's who I am, and that's me. But yeah, I'll check it out. But they changed it. 23andMe, it used to say like broadly Southern European, then all of a sudden said Portuguese. I was like, wow. Interesting. So
Zachary Kuzkuzel sent $100. I went from a no-name school in PA to a postgraduate position in one of the most prestigious UK universities for advanced materials science. Younger grow-uppers in STEM, keep your heads down and just grind. We are brain maxing on top of looks maxing and ascending all 2026 and that's on Molecule. Free clap from the Frame Mogger ASU frat leader.
On Molecule. Dude, the Frame Mogger is insane. I mean, no homo. You have to say that because otherwise people say you're gay. But holy shit, I mean, the guy looks incredible. Pause. But it's like that's who we're up against, What could I ever do? Some people are born tall, broad shoulders, muscular, and you're born a skinny, fat, incel, little chud. What are you supposed to do? Get rich, be funny, get smart? Doesn't matter.
I'm good on that golden rule.
But it's fine, but it's fine. But it's fine. You just have to not care. But I appreciate that you just have to stop thinking about it. But thank you for the big super chat. Yeah. We're all ascending. The Frame Mogger just totally insane. What do you do?
Diddy Sprinkles sent $50. What's the difference between Batman and a black man? Batman can go out at night without Robin.
Ugh.
Noah Wiley sent $25, very revealing that not only Trump's current commerce sec was involved with Epstein, but his previous one, Wilbur Ross, spent 25 years at Rothschild Bank and bailed Trump out of bankruptcy in the 80s.
Very true.
Rapist Werewolf sent $20. Have you tried being more white like clavicular and less Mexican?
Why would I try to do that? Mexicans are awesome. Have you ever noticed that Mexicans are winning? I don't know.
Everybody else that gives a shit about it.
Have you ever noticed that Mexicans are actually
winning? Why does everybody else
breeding?
care about that so much? Who gives a fuck?
Mexicans kill people, white people cry online. I'm just saying. While we're at it. People are always trashing the Mexicans. Hey, man, Mexicans will, cut your head off. Mexicans are savage, bro. Aztecs? We're fucking Aztecs, bro. They're cutting people's heads off. They're scalping people. Cartels are putting heads on pikes.
They're fucking weird.
White people are crying about how they can't cut the grass. Mexicans just cut the grass.
They do.
White people write a song. I just want to cut my grass. Mexicans just cut the grass. We don't do all that crying and carrying on. Mexicans just go and fucking cut the grass. Okay, man, stop your belly aching. Let's just cut the grass, brother. Then we take a little nap under the tree. Then we tilt our sombrero. We take a little nap under the tree. We just cut the grass, pal.
Oh, Speedy.
Bro says, I just want to drive my truck and cut the grass. What do you think Mexicans do? That's all they do. Mexicans, all they do is drive their truck and cut the grass. And white people, why can't we do it? Just do it. It's easy. Get in the car, drive around, pick up the lawnmower. So W us. We just do it. Just do it, gringo. Just do it, SA. And Mexicans don't put up with the tranny stuff. We'll kick your ass. Bro said, I just want to drink beer and watch the game. Dude, Mexicans do all three in one day.
What is with him and that?
Mexicans cut the grass, drink the beer, watch the game, then they go and crash their truck into a family of 5.
Truly.
And run away because they have no car insurance.
I just don't care.
Mexicans are next level. Can we just give it up for us Mexicans? Can we just have a moment of appreciation? Mexicans do not give a fuck. Mexicans get wasted, then they drive their truck, then they kill 8 people, and then they run away. Then they run away and they do it all over again the next day. White people cry, I can't do anything. I can't drive my truck. I can't drink my beer. I can't cut my grass. Yeah, you can. You can do anything. It's a video game, dude. We live in Los Santos. It's GTA. You can do anything. You can get drunk, crash your car, cut your grass, hug your dog, catch your fish. You don't have to be pro-trans. You can do whatever the fuck you want. White people are so inhibited. You know, white people are like, well, gee, I can't do that. Yeah, you can. You can do anything. There are no rules, I promise you. Look at Clavicular became more Mexican. Clavicular actually became more Mexican. He's just running people over. He just does whatever he wants. So, yeah. We all need to go hard. Mexicans need to go hard as fuck. Whites going hard as fuck. Niggas going hard as fuck. You don't need permission.
Stem Groip sent $50. Free Clav. He ain't deserve to be brutally mogged by the ASU frat leader. We look smaxing and brain maxing all 2026 until we ascend to nets on molecule.
So
also, we need to kill all Sims. John Dave Irving sent $1,000.
Go to my Facebook.
Sorry for crashing out in the $100 GC. Can you add me back? I just felt like PPL were picking on and ganging up on me baselessly.
I need
100
followers
so it was just a perf storm.
to stream
also,
from there.
Can you tell them to only be nice to me when, if, I come back?
So I'd appreciate
I mean,
it if
donation.
y'all could just help.
Brittany.
Everybody
Plus
could
Mio.
help
Don't know
me
why I
out.
thought of them.
Hook a brother up. Hook me up with a
Wow,
follow.
thank you for the huge super chat.
I'd like to
John
start
Dave
streaming over there.
Irving, my man. My man. Are you going to come through for us, John? I appreciate the huge super chat, buddy. God bless you. Whoa, thank you for the huge support. The goat of money and being rich. It's very funny. He didn't actually get kicked out of the group chat. He's joking. Hey, you're invited anytime, my friend. Just don't leak it to an e-girl. Just don't leak it to an e-girl this time, okay? There is one rule. Do not leak it to an e-girl in exchange for nudes. That's all I ask of you, my friend. Second chances, we can all have them. We just need to acknowledge the rules. But thank you very much. Whoa, thank you for the huge support. Old JDI, I knew you'd come through for us.
First donation just to rewatch the Crowder debate, man. Did the when I first watched I was damn, this was good now. Definitely made it best. Could have been something, but he shut it down to half.
The Shtetl.
Which crowd? Me and him?
Fine. The good Shtetl back home Shtetl Jew.
We didn't really have a debate. We really had like a conversation.
It is Artifice sent $20. Gen Z not living by being the first American generation less intelligent than the preceding generation. Too tech lobotomized to laugh at how ridiculous you all sound.
They think they're better than
Please don't
everybody.
breed.
That's just because they're brown fucking idiots.
They really do.
Dude, that's such a tell.
Even other Jews.
Bro said, oh, the Gen Z is dumber because whatever. Dude, Gen Z is dumber because it's half brown people, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you didn't think about confounding variables? Got it.
Evelyn Groy percent $25. Half. First time super chatter. Looks Max Math PhD old news but every serious white nat I know disregarded both embarrassing Pusa and Hispanic halftime shows. If it were my call the show would be Tchaikovsky with bombs and fighter jets lol. Gen Z white nats I know are successful, book smart, jacked, and many are grow eyebers.
You sound like an insufferable idiot.
Evelyn Groy percent $25. Two halves. Could you stop associating the white nat label with GOP chuds, defeatist old heads, and vulgar rebel? They are not an accurate representation of WN. Maybe we need a new label for elite Gen Z to disentangle from them. White ascensionists. You ascend, Europeans ascend, America ascends. RKD4NJF, thanks for the time.
Where do you find these people? Honestly, where do you find people that...
Yeah.
It's so depressing that people like this exist. That they have these awful ideas and they think they're good and they tap you on the shoulder and say, hey man, I got a good idea for you. What if we called ourselves white ascensionists? And you go, yeah.
Because you're ascending. We're ascending.
idea.
Everybody ascending, bro.
This is why, maybe Goyim were bred for this purpose, honestly.
Shut the fuck up, Nick.
I don't know that
Goyim were
it's exactly
bred,
like
bro.
this, but Jews are onto something with this whole idea that there's a tiny minority that have souls.
No, you're
and the
not.
rest only look like human beings,
They're
but
not
are in
onto
fact
something.
animals here to serve an upper class. Like Jews were definitely cooking with that idea.
No, they weren't.
I don't know that it's Jews that are the ones that are ensouled, but like it's definitely some kind of minority. Like
Shut the fuck
they were
up.
definitely
It's
cooking
stupid.
with that framework. Like
No,
they
they
have
don't.
the framework correct.
No, they don't.
I
You're
just
an
don't know
idiot.
if they have the details right.
You're an idiot.
You know.
That's dumb.
If it were up to me, they'd be Tchaikovsky. Yeah, that sounds like it would really fucking suck. And you sound like a faggot. You sound like an insufferable faggot. And your idea sucks. And I hate you. And if I met you in real life, I would have to grimace and fake laugh, and my face would hurt from forcing a smile to endure the interaction, because you are nothing, because you are goy, because you are goy cattle, goyim in abundance. I sometimes wonder how dumb these goyim actually can be, said the Jew.
Ashton Forbes sent $40. Are warp drives and wormholes silly?
Said the
Did you ever
Jew.
check into it? What do you think about Trump's discombobulator admission? Epstein set up Sante Fe Institute right outside Los Alamos, where the Manhattan Project happened. They found out how to manipulate space-time, aka gravity, with fusion bomb. Perhaps sooner.
I think that's this guy again. Yeah, I think that's bullshit. This guy's like obsessed with the idea that Malaysian Airlines flight was teleported through a wormhole, and he's like really serious about it. Check out his timeline. It's an interesting video. This guy, Ashton Forbes, believes that the Malaysian Airlines flight that went missing,
that's some dumb shit,
was teleported to another dimension through a wormhole using like secret technology the government has. That just, yeah, I don't buy that. It just sounds crazy. Sorry. Honestly, there's really nothing you could tell me that would get me to believe that. They found out how to manipulate space-time, and they used it on a fucking plane. Why wouldn't they use it on, like, I don't know, an Apple? Like, why would they disappear a fucking jetliner? Like, you invent space-time manipulation technology. Should we throw an apple through the portal? Should we throw a mouse through the portal? No. Let's open up a portal in the middle of the sky and disappear a Malaysian Airlines flight with 200 people on board. Like, okay.
The Dun sent $26.
I guess, bro.
The Dun sent $26. Love the show, smile.
Thank you.
Diddy Sprinkles sent $20. Lol, my grandpa always loves when I show him your millennial rants. Brings him great joy every time you call them faggots. Says this guy is pretty hardcore. Well, doggone it. Maybe there is some hope.
That sounds like a fake quote.
I'll take
Noisy95 sent $20.
Disney Channel ass grandpa.
Noisy95 sent $20. Thanks, Nick, for the political and spiritual conscious. Been unleashing power on some TikTok live debates. Holy moly, extra red pill. These left-wing blacks and women actually despise white men there.
Based.
1,999,991,721 sent $100. Hey, Nick, you're the man. I'm 25. I was planning on leaving my job to start my own company. My employer just offered me $450,000 to stay. Is working for yourself worth it, or take the money?
Thank you for the big super chat. Crazy humble brag. It's up to you. I mean, I have no idea what your situation is. It depends on your lifestyle. Me, I don't think I could work for anybody because I can't do anything on time and I'm unreliable and I just have a lot of problems, okay? Like, I'm a dysfunctional person, but, it's not for everybody. Some people like the predictability, the routine. They like not having the responsibility, the risk. And for some people, having a job is really great. And for other people, they can do nothing other than, be an entrepreneur. So it's kind of up to you.
Plague Roy sent $20. I'll send you an autographed copy of my mixtape. Here's a sample. Red, white, and Jew. Every state blue. That's the world they want for me and you. Okay. Airbay 408 sent $20. B Nick greater than his to go to anger management classes. B Clav greater than goes viral. All charges drop. Gain street cred for being in jail for a day. Sorry for the inconvenience, sir.
Right. Yeah. Sorry for the inconvenience. They imprison him for committing crimes that he did on a live stream. He committed crimes on a live stream. They imprisoned him. Oh, sorry for the inconvenience, sir. You're free to go. And here's another $500,000.
INFV sent $20. I forgot how fun of a game Simpson Hit and Run was.
Yeah.
F sent $20. You're probably a spring skin tone, which is why your new suits work so well. Gonna grow a mustache for mustache rides?
Okay, gross. That shit is disgusting. I don't know how you faggots do that. I don't know how you people do that. I'm so disgusted by all that.
Welcome.
Am I a spring? Someone do my color palettes, or what do they call that?
No idea, Nick.
Someone tell me what color I am. I need a haircut.
Peter Mogg sent $300. Imagine getting rage baited out of an anonymous group chat of retards.
I know, it's crazy. Thank you for the huge super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Hate this fucking guy.
Couldn't be me.
Owen Benjamin, fuck you, die slowly.
I
Schizophrenic
cannot be
SSR
rage
Island
baited.
Proletariat Hill person sent $21. I cannot believe you haven't discovered your biggest seating ankle biter yet. Verifiable crusader on every thumbnail is debunking Nick on race, immigration, etc. Barely 700 subs. It's sad because a lot of these debate brothers like Dean, Destiny, Parker, etc. They believe if they win a debate, that means their worldview is true.
Who? I don't even know who you're talking
832
about.
sent $100. Keep the change.
Thank you for the big super
Nazism,
chat.
not globalism, sent $20. Both halftime shows were fake, gay, anti-white, anti-American. Kinda like both political parties. Hashtag rigged.
I like the Spanish
Raz sent
one.
$50. On fire tonight. I've been telling my niggas for years that they literally only get hoes cause they're 6 feet and black hole. We just gotta get bread. Appreciate the good work. Wank.
Hell yeah, get that bread.
Propod 20K sent
Get that
$20.
paper.
I get the impression that most of the plan trusters are being driven by nothing other than nostalgia for 2016-18, especially considering most of them are much older now and the realization that it's all going to end like this might just be too blackbilling for them.
I agree.
Thanks sent $40. I saw a post today that the Hodge twins shared of a tweet that said Trump played them again, and went on to list Trump's 5-step plan and implies that somehow Dems are the losers of this 5D chess game that delusional people still believe Trump is playing. They're still trusting the plan after 10 years of disappointment.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Nazism, not globalism, sent $20. Necessary conclusion re. Epstein is investigations, arrests, and ending relations with Israel, at a minimum. Hashtag justice.
Yep.
Average John 93 sent $100. Easy on the brain super chat. Love the show.
Thank you for the big
Blonde
super
Garoy Pet sent
chat.
$20.
Beautiful.
Being in college right now is wild. When people learn I'm not a liberal feminist, they flip their shit. They assume young women like myself are far left automatically. The propaganda I've seen is wild AF.
Holy pick me. Yeah, you're crazy.
Anon Grower
Emily.
percent $25. Bro,
You're
your
so
dream
based.
restaurant just sounds like MC Kaba. Observe the box, circle the box, eat from the box, eat the box,
I'm
escape the box.
Jester Mac.
26, 26,
Maxing.
26.
That's kind of funny.
Observe the box. circle
Yeah,
the box,
well,
eat
it's just
from the
kind of
box, eat
like-
the box, accept the box.
You know, I went
escape
to
the
Bone of
box.
Beef earlier today.
funny, he
for
always
an
gets
example,
somebody
and I
who
got a couple
comments
hot
that.
dogs.
Something about
and,
box. Eat the box. Eat the box.
You know, they're just like wrapped up in foil in a
Eat
bag,
box,
and I
bitch.
take them out of the bag, and it's just kind
You're
of
gonna eat it and
depressing. Like,
like
I
it.
want a box, right? Open a box is like exciting. Open up the box; they're displayed beautifully, self-contained. Container is a metaphysical concept. Container is a metaphysical concept. We must first create a space. Okay, there's a word for this. We first must create that is step number one. We must create a space. And only then can creation occur within it. Okay, and there is a container for things. And burgers have to be contained in things. Hot dogs have to be contained in things. Ideally in boxes with form and structure.
Muff Cabbage sent $20. What is your take on Trump possibly being one of the 6 names?
So yes, we are going to create like a, cube burger, Kaba burger. We're going to create an esoteric burger stand. We're going to create an esoteric burger shack. The burger will be imprisoned inside of creation, inside of. That's good. That's a good riff. What's my take on Trump being one of the names? I think that's retarded.
Sunafa sent $20. Ro Connor, read the 6 names on the House floor.
Oh, really? I didn't see
Jesus
Yeah,
fucking
that.
Chris
I saw that.
6769
He
sent
posted it
$20.
on his,
Content prep thanks
on
to Larry
his
Ellison.
YouTube.
I missed the Chinese TikTok.
It was
That's where I
fire.
first found you.
Yeah.
It was a clip
Les
of you getting hyped about a
Wexner
guy
was
bringing
one
up
of
dancing
them.
Israelis
That's
at
how
a
I
Charlie
knew
Kirk
that.
event.
Yeah.
Aho Grower sent $20.
True.
Hey Nick, big fan and I really appreciate what you do. Pam Bondi was compromised from the start when she supported red flag laws and supported prosecuting George Zimmerman as Florida AG. Dumb bitch.
Dumb bitch.
Rock Shaka sent $50.
true.
As a hit from the sticks, I 100% agree on your take about country music being whiny and defeatist. I eat Boosa halftime show. When I visited my grandpa's ranch, his old country was about gunfights and telling women to STFU. Believe me when I say he lived it. Men like him is what made me like your show. We need to make white men terrifying again.
Yeah, awesome.
Willie
So
Nail said
true.
$100. Even Susie Wiles said Trump was acting like a delusional alcoholic in Vanity Fair a couple of months ago. I remember when Trump actually lost a good deal of his net worth in the first term. Now he's enjoying about a $6 billion net worth. Trump 2.0 is a scam.
Yep.
Someone needs to break the pendulum in 28.
So true. Thank you for the big super
Nick
chat.
said $34.
Very true.
Seems like Amy Dangerfield is easily the most influential woman in the AF space right now. She's been getting a lot more attention recently than others with similar views. What do you think explains that rise in influence? Other than the fact that she's naturally gorgeous.
Okay, buy an
Big Bone
ad.
said $30.
Buy
Great show,
an
Nick.
ad.
New fan.
Ashley
It seems like
Fisher's
everyone lied about
welcome.
you on social media. I
I think
subscribe
it's
to
because
AF
that
Plus after your Epstein
Dangerfield
take.
chick
Concise
is
messaging seems hard to
Australian,
misconstrue, but they
too.
do.
People like that.
They
like
it's
the
just like a
accent.
combination
She's
of
good
bad
looking.
faith actors and idiots. People
Good
hate
looking,
me,
and she
so they
has
try to make me look bad, and then idiots don't know
Cool
any better.
accent.
But if you watch the show, it's all very consistent and true.
Nibby123 sent $20. First super chat. I'm from New Zealand and I enjoy your show. I feel like no one else is
Nice.
talking about the demographic replacement of whites besides you. If you ever come to power, buy New Zealand.
Okay.
Big Dick Randy
Buy
1998
New
sent $20.
Zealand.
One point nobody has mentioned with the CK assassination is the most likely
That
reason
was
the round was lodged
fucking
in his neck is
funny
because it was
right
most likely an
there.
old and properly stored round that had text
Yeah.
carved into it. Wet powder
Yeah.
can drop FPS by hundreds and cause a round to drop several inches at that range as well. Grandpa's gun.
Interesting.
Greedy sent $20. Hey Nick, any tips for goy mixing? I'm an erotic 2 from NY and I need to shed it ASAP. 24 Problems sent $20. My friends and I have loved the show since sophomore year. One's headed to Tulane, another to Columbia's business school. Rest of us are still waiting, but grow-ipers are sneaking into the institutions.
Love it. Good for you, man. Great schools. Love Columbia. Love Tulane. Good for you, man. God bless.
Good schools.
Graduating high school, huh? Wow, what a special time.
Very special time.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, man, enjoy. Enjoy your journey. Don't grow up too fast, all right, son?
Yeah.
All right, sonny boy.
Enjoy it while it's there, because it's going to be gone.
Where does the time go? I'm coming up on my 10-year high school reunion. 10 years
I never went to any of that bullshit. Fuck that shit.
Where does the time go?
Whack.
It goes by real quick, don't it? Yes, it does. Well, hey, enjoy, buddy. I'm glad you got your whole life ahead of you. God bless.
Name is Valentine sent $30. We can't afford another Democrat election win. We are the point of no return. Look at the UK, France, Spain, Germany with their immigrant numbers. We're in the chapter of having to pass the SAFE Act. Everything else doesn't matter at the moment. Like you said, the Epstein issue isn't going away.
Not really sure where we're going with that.
Alex Pacheco sent $20. World's cutest hermit.
Okay, please. I am a hermit, though. I know it's hard to believe because I'm good looking, but I am a hermit. I'm a hated.
Pretty much
People
a
have
hermit as
contempt
well.
for me, disdain. I'm hated, reviled. Graveyard of failed relationships. I'm Taylor Swift. I'm the anti-hero. When I hear that song, I just relate to it so hard. So yes, I'm forced into a self-imposed exile. I am the hermit. Don't try to make me feel better. It is what
Prussian
it
Jaeger
is.
sent $20.
But I appreciate it. Thank you.
Prussian Jaeger sent $20. A friend of mine's dad is a cop in the broader Minneapolis area. Says that ISIS cleared out our city. Even in a recent raid got 17. Maybe still getting all illegals, or could just be the local person in charge ignoring new orders?
A whole 17? Whoa, well, don't get them all out all at once. That's bullshit.
Dante Cross sent $20. Shout out to Sam Hyde for red pilling me back in 2016 on the Juice Rock / Boulder sketch lol. Found your stuff from his retweets. Would love to see more collaborations with him and MDE. All Patriots go.
Okay, good to know. Well, we love Sam Hyde. He is one of the greats. My man, I love Sam. Great guy. He red-pilled me years ago.
Snowcone Grower sent $20. Curious as to what you think of Governor Cox's of Utah platform of disagree better. Is now the time for that?
I don't even know what that is, but it sounds gay.
Perspective Artisan sent $20. The right-handed dominance over the arts to the left on a silver platter when they told all of their kids to go be engineers instead of creative. Now we're stuck with gay-ass Kid Rock.
Hot take.
John Bridgeford Hunt sent $1,000. Nick.
Whoa!
I believe it is my destiny to become the American autocrat, but I need a little help getting there. I know that is crazy to say. However, I believe I have these requisites: unmatched zeal, unmatched dedication, fierce intelligence, and a cool story. I do not want to see myself as the president, but neither do I want to live in the world that's coming if no one fixes the problems. Can you check out my video?
Now, what is a totally insane person like you do to get $1,000 to spend on this show? That's my question.
Wow.
What is a totally delusional person? I guess there's a lot of delusional people with money.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna be America's autocrat, but I have nowhere to start other than to super chat this internet show. Okay, well, the link didn't even work. I hope that wasn't like a phishing link or something because I just clicked on it. But thank you for the huge super chat. Bro didn't even send the right link. Well, we're not off to a great start for the autocracy. Not $1,000, got the link wrong. Not off to, I gotta say, we are not off to a great start. Unless that was just a phishing link and I'm an idiot. But it doesn't look like it because I'm on YouTube, so. I thank you for the massive super chat, I guess, but, you know, that just sounds totally insane, if I'm being honest.
Jack Jenny sent $20, doing ROTC and getting my international relations degree.
But I do appreciate the money. I mean, I appreciate the support, but the message is totally insane.
Jack Jenny sent $20, doing ROTC and getting my international relations degree in NYC. God bless. Thank you for everything. Also, can you make a white USA quarter zip?
Yeah, I can't. I don't know if I can go that.
Road Joy sent $20. Got my CCW renewal today in LA and I was the only one in the whole class, including the teacher, without a tiny hat. They're legally arming themselves in droves out here. Pretty alarming. 07.
Yikes.
God
yeah,
Van sent $20.
yourselves.
40-year-old America first. What would be you Democrat / Republican all-star lineup for the next election?
What does that even mean? What are you talking
Shavery
about?
sent $20. So you want to open up a modular burger place to enjoy a good burger, but you think experimenting with red onions is okay on a burger? I joined Laura Loomer eating dog food before eating that slop.
Yeah, burger, you can just do things.
Grand 4547 sent $20. The term ball had me rolling last night. Appreciate the humor, me boy. God bless.
You guys are so easy. You're like babies. What else would have you rolling? Peekaboo? What if I concealed my face and then made a funny expression? Would that have you rolling
man,
too?
this is
You
hilarious.
people are literally like children. Goy ball! That's a good one! It's like, it's only the dumbest, most like obvious construction. That had me laughing. What if I made a funny face? Would that be funny too? I was dying when you made that expression.
I wonder who Ashley
Then he
Richards
covered his
is.
face. Then he showed it again,
Big
and he
Dick
was
Randy
still there.
1998 sent $20. Pick up the fork. It's easier to go from skinny to built than
Lizzie.
fat to cut. Once I lost the fat, I was just skinny. I'm 6 feet 0 inches 215 with abs now and have blonde hair and blue eyes. FYI. My doll line is better.
Congrats.
High on fishing sent $20. Just do it, gringo shirt combing.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
If he sent $20, I'm crying laughing right now. Good show. Smile.
I'm
Owen
so
Benjamin, fuck you, die
happy.
slowly. Schizophrenic SSRI lump and proletariat hill person sent $21. Dude, you were crying over that handsome white kid dressed up as an SS officer on Halloween. Now you're seething over seething hill people chuds. Mexicans are subhuman. The least creative people. You're a fucking nincompoop African American.
You're literally the one seething. Also, yeah, white people got to get it together. Starts with a little honesty. White people got to get it together. Niggas be like, I'm going to dress up like a Nazi on Halloween. That'll do something. Get your money up, retard. Stop being broke.
And First Banker sent $200. I work for a top 5 bank. The banking and not being able to open accounts for administration affiliates is a reality. These Jews were offended by the quarter zip in the office. Happy Vietnami.
Thank you for the big super chat. Good for you, W Bank. W Banking.
E.G. Grills sent $20. Bought my America First hat yesterday and it shipped in a day. Love the speedy work. Keep it up, brother.
Epic. See, that's where
Echo
we
Romeo
are.
sent $20. Portuguese are explorers and pioneers. God bless.
So true.
Breezes sent $20. What's your opinion on selective breeding for increased IQ or height?
I support it.
Larry Silverstein is a piece of shit devil cunt sent
I didn't need
$20.
selective
Rokan and Thomas
breeding.
Massey, let's fucking go. Pam Bondi got fucked. We need to just wipe out everybody in the House and Senate and let these IPAC Israeli Larry Silverstein evil thoftas that only care about their own fucking people out of our White House. George Washington Yehovah about to murk the Israelites.
Supermodel.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Post Structural sent $20. As part Mexican, I can assure you we have sayings in Spanish that translate over to don't be a Jew or 40.
There we go. Anyway, that's it for tonight, fellas. But like I was saying, please subscribe to follow my Facebook page, the Space Night Space Scotsman on Facebook. Trying to get that to 100 followers so that I can stream on that platform and spread the gospel a little bit further and a little wider. But until tomorrow, gentlemen, hope you all have a fantastic